Said we ever started behaving.
What's behaving?
Lights, please. Action.
Come on, I
I
haven't
said to
finished
them,
noodles yet.
just as I went to go live, I said, all right, everybody, we're going to go live, put behaving.
Live, everybody.
Just so the people in the chat know what's going on. Hi,
I
everybody.
do
How you
like how
doing?
I like how the first thing that I was doing on stream
With
was pouring
lives, huh?
myself alcohol-free champagne.
Alcohol-free
my sister was
champagne. What the
supposed
hell's
to
the
cut my
point in
hair
drinking
while she
that?
was
Might as well
here
just drink
visiting.
water.
I ate a
Go ahead.
special candy. I'm just saying.
Oh.
Go ahead, Larry.
No, my sister was supposed to cut my hair while she was here because she's like a person who's actually good at that kind of shit. But then she didn't. And then it was driving me crazy. And so I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to do it myself because I have clippers. And then I did one pass and it was way too fucking high. I was like, oh shit, I've committed now. But
it's all over with but the shouting.
It'll go back.
I like it.
That's
All
right.
committed now. Damn it.
People are like, I'm afraid to try a new hairdo. And I'm like, why? Does your hair not grow back? Well, yeah, it does. So why are you afraid to try a new hairdo?
Yeah, I went from short hair to long
I'm in the
like
process.
4 months.
My hair is starting to thin because baldness goes on both sides of my family. So like eventually it's gonna get to the point where they ain't gonna grow back. But it'll be all right. I'll just
Turkish
as soon as I can
Delight's a
grow a
real
decent
thing.
beard, I'll just
There you go.
Is that good, Phoebe?
I'm going to find out.
Oh, no, I've never tasted anybody Turkish before.
I didn't know it was real. So like I know that from the Narnia books.
What
I've never had Turkish Delight before. Turkish Delight is rose flavored, isn't it?
Apparently
So is
it's
that rose
delicious
flavored coffee?
enough to where the kid betrays his other siblings in Narnia because it's so delicious.
Yeah.
Narnia coffee?
Turkish Delight.
Yeah. Narnia coffee. Hi, Maya.
Yeah. It's like a jelly sweet, right? It's like rose or citrus flavored.
Yeah, I think so. But that's got to be different, I think, what she's showing us, huh?
Hi, Crypta.
Mage Grey Wolf.
There you go, Larry.
I honestly do not know if honey would work as a binder because honey is just sugar. So in a baking situation, like the moisture out of the honey will be absorbed up into whatever you're using as your flour. So I don't know if that would work to hold it together as a binder, but I've never tried it before.
When you said I don't know if honey would work as a binder, I was thinking of, what trans men do to the upper half of their body.
If I eat too much cheese, I get all bound up too.
Hey, Phoebe Ox said just add some hot water to the jar and make a concentrate, and then you can just spoon it out as a concentrate.
So Olive, real quick, Fillory is awesome. The Magicians, good show.
Oh.
Turkish
I like the
Delight
Charlie Brown Christmas
pistachio
gift in your
too?
background there.
Marie. Whoa, who knew? Bino Just Be is live on Twitch too.
I like baklava.
I love baklava. Yeah.
But I would literally rather like take a full face of lemon juice straight to the eyeball than make baklava. Even though homemade baklava
how bad is it? Why is it so bad?
I didn't say I wanted to make it. I said
I'll tell you why baklava is so difficult to make. I'll tell you why in one word.
Phyllo
Lamination. Lamination.
Lamination.
Okay, so baklava, you have to have phyllo dough to make baklava, and phyllo dough is dough that is so thin that you can see through it.
Pastry.
Oh,
and you have to laminate it. You have to laminate it.
Yeah, but it's so thin that
phyllo pastry is laminated pastry.
Yeah, but it's so thin. It's
like a butter,
tissue paper.
A butter and honey mix to glue the sheets together in baklava.
But so it's fucking delicious. But I would never make it.
I have made it and I can make it, but it's only about an 80% success rate. Yeah. And that's having made it for years.
I made a bunch of stuff for Christmas. We made homemade caramels. I've made these chocolate pecan sandies. I made
Larry, why you gonna be cooking and come on and tell me about junk food? Like, now I want some
I
pecan
like to
sandies.
cook. Look, my love language is acts of service. So for the holidays, I did all the cooking. I glazed the ham, made all the side
You
dishes,
and Heather would get along
did all the
perfectly.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She likes to cook for everybody. She loves to feed people. That's what she does. Facts. Oh my God, holy spackle!
Ooh,
What is
is
that vicious
yelling at
monster
you?
behind you? Be careful! Be careful, duck!
She's gonna eat you.
God, look at the size of that mouth.
Yeah, it's Shanny for Christ. I can put her in my background. Isn't that cool?
The hell is that?
That says Shanny.
You can almost hear the
Purple.
crazy, and it's muted.
Look at those eyes.
that.
She's dangerous.
She's intense. Yeah, she's very intense.
Marie said somebody let her out of the sauna. Who the hell did that?
I've never been.
Cadence, I'm so jealous.
So my friend was telling me about her story of how she was in Istanbul, and there was like these saunas, and like I guess you would describe them that way. They're like bathing rooms and stuff like that, and like they were in it, but they
Mhm.
separate it by gender, so there's no shenanigans. But
Mhm.
shenanigans, you know how that works out. and
Hi, Tibian.
and like I've never, and I just realized I've never been in a spa situation, let alone one like that where it's like a little bit intense and stuff. And they're just like, yeah, they come in and they exfoliate you, and they're just like scrub, 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 scrub. And I'm like, oh my god, oh my god. And then she's like, and then she describes her friend, and she's a lesbian, and she's describing her friend. She's like, my friend's very rugged. She's very rugged, like, and she's like, they spent extra time scrub, 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 scrub. I'm like, oh my god, like, like she's rugged, so we need to exfoliate her more. Like, what is this?
Mhm.
But I've never been, and I realize I've never been to like that. Sounds like a very abnormal, aggressive spa. I don't think I could do that scrubbing. But like I've never been to a spa or had that spa experience, and to me it doesn't sound relaxing. I don't know. Like, does anyone like beg to differ? Have like a good experience about that?
Never been to one.
I was gonna say you're gonna assume that one of us has had the money to go to a spa at some point.
Money.
I've never had it.
I'm way too hung up to go to a spa. No way. No, not a chance.
It's just bizarre.
I'm not really into anything that involves naked people or people seeing me naked.
Yeah.
So like,
Oh,
yeah.
I don't care. I'll walk right into a massage therapist's office and just throw my clothes off. I don't give a shit.
I wish I had Beck's confidence.
It is what it is.
no.
I know I'm chubby. I know I got love handles. I'm like, fuck it. I don't care.
I was the person. I was the person in the
body.
gym that you just make a beeline for the back of the gym where the stalls are for the bathroom, get changed in the bathroom, and then sprint out as quickly as you possibly can so you don't have to see anybody.
I'm right there with you. I'm pretty much like that. I'm like, oh, how dare we? I am indecent. Like I'm very modest. Yeah.
I have a bad memory of locker rooms. Is all my high school when I got beat up for 3 years.
Yeah.
So I just don't like them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's
no,
that
I don't
too.
think I'd like that either.
And you know what the thing is about that? They were right. All the things they called me, they were right.
They were absolutely fucking right. How about that shit for you? Oh, we lost. Oh, damn.
Phoebe, we lost Phoebe.
One,
Phoebe,
two,
we
three,
lost
four. Phoebe. Yeah. Okay.
Phoebe will be back.
Fuck.
Anyway, yeah, aggressive spas. They sound like you drive your car through and the little brushes come at you sideways and they're like, what? And you're like, whoa. It's like that.
I know what you're saying. Oh, right back.
Wait, what?
Those brush things really fuck up your car paint.
I heard that, like, if you have a dark colors.
Any color, it fucks up the paint. It does, absolutely, no doubt.
Yeah, so
PDA going on.
Cadence in the chat says, I was military, clothes off, sure, okay. My brothers were in the military, and the way that they tell it, they do basically like put you in a room and hit you with the garden hose.
I'm just gonna say, like, that looked flirty because you were smirking.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't know. I've just been like that. When I went in for my physical exam, when I started working where I work at, and I was seeing the other doc, for that shit, and I went in there, and I was just like, she got done, and she was like, "Okay, I'll get out in a minute, and you can get dressed." I just like took off my gown, threw it on the top of the pile of dirty gowns, and went over and started putting my clothes back on. I was just like, fuck it. I'm like, you've seen everything except for my back. Like, who cares right now?
You should have given them a twirl.
Yeah.
That's for
That was
all.
one of those things that it was really
Do
fun.
cartwheels?
I go to the gyno at the public hospital here, and they're great because they have the transgender clinic there, so they're very trans competent. And so I have to go, get regular checkups and stuff because I still have a uterus. And these people, they've seen everything. They've seen all of it. But then, they'll like, okay, now we'll step out of the room so that you can put your pants back on. And I'm like, why?
Right, I
You've already
know.
I tell you this.
What's the point?
I tell you the most ridiculous thing going is that my esthetician asks, "Would you like me to leave the room whilst you get ready for this Hollywood waxing?"
Oh.
So
Is this the
there's
one
a
where you
reason
have
for
to get
that.
up on your knees on the table?
Yes.
I guess
know-
I would
know the answer.
retort with a question of, does my underwear offend you? Because that's
Right.
what you haven't seen yet.
Or
Everything else you're
while
gonna
they're
see.
gone, when they come back, be in doggy style position.
That is the first position you need to be in.
Yeah, that's what you have to do, from what I
That
understand.
literally is the
I've
first
never-
thing you have to do.
Oh
It's
God!
literally on your knees, arse in the air.
So
Really?
the reason
Yeah,
why they
that's-
do that,
Oh, I've got nothing to wax back there, so I'm not worried about it.
the reason why they do that is because we
Damn.
sexualize taking off your clothes.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Like we're just like, like between like,
What is this, an episode of
strippers,
Faulty Towers?
yeah.
Sounds like a Saturday night to
You
read.
started it earlier,
Makes sense.
Phoebe.
Well, I might have started it earlier, but I had no idea this was a whole episode of Faulty Towers live on
What is Faulty Towers? What does that mean?
Faulty
Oh,
Towers.
it's a
is
wonderful British show.
British comedy show with John Cleese and Prunella Scales.
Oh no.
John,
He
with
is-
John Cleese, the transphobe.
Yeah, but it was the 1970s.
Oh, he was
So-
in the club then.
Yeah, he was. And it also has Andrew Sachs and Connie Booth in it as well. And basically, it is a dysfunctional hotelier
What?
who is henpecked. Yes, that is one of the original 12 entry signs that would be seen at the show. So at the start, you'd have the hotel in the background, and then you'd have the sign for the hotel, and people would have messed around with it. So the very first episode says Faulty Towers, and then for the next 11 episodes, there's 6 episodes in a series, and one of them is Flowery Twats.
Yeah, because
Fair
anagrams.
enough.
Yeah, and you also have things like Watery Fowls.
Okay. Can dig it. I can dig it.
So on Hollywood Squares tonight, it is the Holy Spackle is the center square. So they must be the recurring guest. They must be the special guest because this is Hollywood Squares now.
Who's
Sometimes.
the special guest?
Sometimes
The person in the middle.
Oh,
I'm the only person that's seen
Up
Hollywood
above.
Squares /
Nope.
Celebrity
the
Squares.
side.
I've seen it. Yep.
The side.
So you know that the rotating
Okay.
guest, the special rotating guest, is the center square.
No,
I mean,
okay, yeah,
no,
yeah.
the center
Okay.
square was the anchor of the show.
no, Paul Lynde was
In the
center
US.
square.
Hold on,
Well, in the
I'm
UK,
gonna
the
have to
center
refresh
square
my
was always
browser
the
because I
rotating
can't hear
square.
anybody, and I can't tell if it's me.
Yeah, well, the
So
rest
in
of
the
the
UK, it was called Celebrity Squares.
Okay.
And the center square was the rotating special guest, and the host was roving on the floor, and the host was Bob Monkhouse, one of the greatest television game show hosts ever in the UK, like Lee Sajak but on steroids. Not steroids as in as in muscly, like Hulk Hogan steroids. Steroids as in, this is fantastic. You are going to put other people to shame.
Wait,
Okay.
I lost everybody for a minute.
They're the biggest name in the U.S. On Hollywood Squares. It was always the biggest name on the show. Usually, like when I was a kid, I remember it being Joan Rivers, like perpetually.
Yeah, she replaced Paul Lynde after he died.
No, it's just like she was there for ages, as far as I remember. And then they'd have rotating guests around the outside.
I'm
You
gonna
did it
date
in a
myself
different way.
by saying, "What is the Hollywood Square?"
It was a
Hollywood Squares was
tic-tac-toe game show.
It was noughts and crosses with celebrities. So you'd have two contestants.
Televised tic-tac-toe.
Tic-tac-toe.
Yeah, and you could
Okay.
win like a
I was about
car,
to say, what's
or
nuts
you could
and
win like, or you could win money,
Yeah.
or you could win a
You would
holiday.
select a square, and then the host would ask that celebrity a question, and they would answer
Okay.
it, and you had to agree or disagree. And if you got it right, you got your X or your O on the board.
Right. So if they answered it wrong and you knew it, you just said disagree, and then you got that X or your O. Right.
Yeah.
It's just giant people tic-tac-toe.
It was terrible. But it was kind of funny.
No, it was funny
occasionally.
sometimes.
It was good
but
TV. Yeah, it was good
pretty-
TV, but
It was
stupid.
a stupid game. but
Right. Stupid
sometimes
concept,
funny.
but still funny sometimes.
I hate how game shows have become popular again on fucking primetime TV.
Yeah, here's the thing though. I don't understand why game shows aren't limited to Challenge TV in the UK or the Game Show Network in America. Because if you like that kind of thing, just watch those two channels. Just live with those channels. You
Yeah.
can have Game Show Network 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can have Challenge TV 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and just stay there. Strong
I haven't had
opinions.
TV service. I haven't had TV service in like 10 years, so I don't actually
Depends
know
on what you
what's on
classify as
TV.
TV service. Do you consider over-the-top subscription services to be television services?
What do you mean
I have
by
like
over the top?
Netflix,
So
I have,
Amazon,
like,
BBC
Netflix.
and
Oh,
like
okay.
TV.
yeah, if you have
I don't really
Netflix that
consider
you watch
I don't,
TV
I don't
shows
consider
on.
I don't really consider Netflix to be TV service because it's just like
Oh,
a
you mean
catalog
you
of
haven't
things
had
that are already
linear
finished.
TV? You mean you haven't had
Where
linear TV?
it's not like live airing.
Okay, so you're talking
I didn't
linear
hear your
television.
question.
Right.
Yeah, so like live broadcast.
Yeah, that's called linear TV in the industry.
Oh, okay.
My brother has a degree in film, television, radio, and digital media studies. So and he asked me when he was doing his finals to prepare all the questions for him. So now I know all these
Yeah.
terms. So like the TV industry is like what?
Yeah.
It didn't used to be
So
linear.
we have
it
we
used
have
to be just TV.
I know, but it's
Yeah.
always been called linear
Yeah.
TV because it only goes one way.
No. It
Yeah.
was not called linear TV back 40 years ago. I promise you, I was in it.
Oh, fair
Well,
enough. But
but
nowadays
I-
it's just called
in the
linear
US?
Of course, we didn't
Wait,
have
wait.
nonlinear editing either. So
What about? Are you talking about the U.S. or the U.K.? They might call it two different things.
Yeah.
TV. No.
yeah, we
The term
call
is
it
the same.
broadcast over here. We don't call it linear. We call it
No,
broadcast.
broadcast TV and linear TV, they're almost interchangeable.
yeah. So we
Because
have
a plus
had
one channel
for,
wouldn't be a linear TV channel.
for the last 10 years, we haven't had anything where somebody is beaming a signal directly to your antenna or something like that. Like we haven't had cable or like Xfinity or what are the big like AT&T or anything like that. Since I got my first apartment, we've had like Netflix and I watch YouTube.
Yeah, me
And then I
too.
think
That's all
recently
I
my
need.
husband got HBO Max so that we could watch some of the shows that were on there.
Does anyone watch YouTube TV?
No.
Nope. I'm Mac.
Nobody.
Wait,
nobody
anybody
is-
do
nobody-
what?
Nobody a World Series fan. Nobody watches YouTube TV.
Oh no.
No, they want $30 fucking a month for that crap.
$30 a month.
The
Yeah.
whole point
Yeah,
of
I'm
YouTube
paying
was
that.
that it was the whole point of YouTube was that anybody can make content for it and it's free. So paying for
Like
YouTube
this.
just seems counterintuitive.
Like this. This is YouTube
Can you imagine if we
content.
were asking people money for this?
Wait, we are.
Hey,
You
we
can.
are.
You can.
Oh,
Yeah.
Everybody, like, share, and subscribe, and monetize Beck, and then
No,
Yeah,
let's get
yeah.
back up to that 1,000.
I'm never gonna get above like 550. It's
No,
just
let's
not
get you up to that
Cha-cha.
1,000.
You know
I'm
what?
not gonna
Don't
go.
say never, because I just raised 100 in the month. Like I just in a month, I just
He'll
raised
never-
100.
He'll never get over a few hundred. That's it. Come on.
I think
Look at this
you-
content. Look at us.
I think
Yeah,
I
but-
gained
No, that's
some.
what I'm saying, and I'm not going anywhere, man. It's okay.
hey,
Yeah, but
hey,
we could
are
totally
a
get it
ragtag
monetized on Twitch,
bag
though.
of wonderful humans.
The more you do like cross
Yeah.
stuff too with different people, the more subs you're gonna get. It just is
Oh,
gonna
of
happen
course.
by accident even.
Well, you know, Ben and I are gonna do that every month thing with Oz, so it won't be long.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Who the hell's Oz?
And Ben's getting a bunch of subs off of the Matt Dillahunty hang up stream, so
He's part of that
that'll
tart
trickle-
group.
some of that'll trickle over to me. Tang.
Oh, you're gonna go.
Oz.
You guys are gonna go full atheist.
Tang,
The-
sorry.
the
The,
No.
the
Full
boring
atheist.
subject. Yes, let's go atheist and bore people to death with. No, there's no
Yes.
God.
I'm
Okay,
not talking
so,
about
yeah.
atheism.
How about the
I
week
mean-
before?
Jenny.
There's no God.
Never go full
Jenny.
atheist.
Jenny,
I never
I'm
got
not
over. I
talking
never
about
got over
atheism,
30 subscribers on
sunshine.
my original channel.
Never go
it's
And
an
it's
full
everybody-
atheist.
everybody, I can't hear
LGBTQIA plus
who-
plus stream.
Excuse me,
Oh well, that's
I
different.
can't hear a sodding thing, and for me to say that, there's something going wrong. Because everyone but me was talking there, so I have no idea what anyone was saying.
Well, it's because everybody kept talking, and I didn't get a chance to put my word in, so I just talked over everybody or attempted to. I said,
Could you please repeat
it's
what
not
you
an
said?
atheist. It's not an atheist stream that I'm doing. It's an LGBTQ. It's an umbrella stream. What it is.
Which reminds me, I need to talk to you about what I messaged you about.
Is Gene
I mean, you
Gene
can
Kelly
talk
good
about it
dance?
if you want, but I mean, I'm not going to go where anybody's going to insult me because I'll fuck them up.
No, it's going to
Like
be
find
you.
their house, take a flight.
It's going to be you, probably Ben, and probably the guy that I interviewed yesterday. 3 trans men talking about it.
Well, you might as well get Larry on there too. Larry's better at talking about that shit than I am. Way more experience.
Talking
The
about
more the
what
better,
shit?
but I wanted to actually be, like something credible.
So what's the
I don't
topic?
want it. Trans
Larry's
misandry.
credible. What are you saying about
Oh.
Larry? That's my buddy.
No, I've got to
I have
moderate this
no
damn
credit to
thing.
speak of.
Can I
I've got to
can I-
moderate this damn thing.
wait, can you trans misandry? What does that mean?
You know what misogyny is?
Yeah.
Do you know what misandry is?
Well, you hate men.
So trans misogyny is
Or you hate misandry.
Hate trans men?
It's trans men. Yeah.
and trans misandry is where you hate trans men. So yeah,
Misandry
that's-
okay.
So the only like real world experience that I've had of that personally is I've been called like a gender traitor because by transitioning to male, I have abandoned women and feminism and embraced the oppressor, I guess.
Oh, good grief!
Or if they're borrowing from the Handmaid's
Like
Tale, they're
crypto.
using it incorrectly.
Yeah. But
Who's laying that on you? The turfs?
usually,
Well, they're fucking
because
psychotic.
like I still call myself a feminist because I believe in equal rights between the sexes and all that jazz. But I'm apparently not allowed to be a feminist if I pretend to be a man.
But you're not
No.
pretending to be a man. You are a man. There's no pretending.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey, I
I'm sorry.
pretended
I'm
for
so-
like 35 years. I'm done pretending.
Yeah, they're seeing it as
Hey,
I'm out
Larry,
of this
I'm sorry,
boat,
I
and I'm
don't know
gonna.
you well enough. I don't know you well enough to
Phoebe.
make that kind of sweeping statement.
Phoebe,
That's okay.
I love you. Quit talking over people. Okay, carry on, everybody.
I was
I think
just,
Spackle was saying something.
Yeah.
oh,
go
I
ahead,
lost my
HS.
train of thought. It's cool.
Uh,
Oh, there's like a fear, right? Like women are in a bad spot, so then the trans male, they'll be like, oh, well, you just jumped ship, so you could join the patriarchy train. Like it's silly, and it's like, yeah, because people choose and think that way, right?
Well, I
So
think there is truth to be told. I've talked in conversations I had with other trans men that they do gain the male privilege as once they cross over. That they get treated better than women do.
I get treated
I will
better
say
now than
that
I used to. I can
I have-
guarantee you that.
I have experienced a marked shift in the way that people address me and speak to me, and that is a very real phenomenon. And
Okay.
especially once you pass the point where you're more or less cis-passing or close to cis-passing, and people assume that you're a guy, they definitely do treat you differently. But
Mhm. Same thing on
where
site. You get to a certain point,
where
and
the
you get laughed at, and doors open for you, just like anyone else.
yeah, and I think that this is one of those things where there is a common phenomenon that happens within marginalized communities as kind of a self-defense mechanism to feed even more marginalized groups to the oppressor. And I think that that's what happens within these small bubbles of radical feminists is they go, well, I'm being oppressed, but I can buy my way out of oppression by passing that oppression on to an even smaller group.
Yeah,
And I
they're
think that that's
swinging
why
out the wrong.
radical feminists,
Mhm.
I think that's why the TERFs hate trans people so much, is because they are using that to push off, and buy reprieve from oppression by offering up somebody else instead.
Yeah,
That's how I view it.
that makes sense. I was going to say and confirm, being that I'm not the. So usually if you're female, the more feminine you look and the more like you would wear heels, things like that, these very, defined social markers, the better you go in business, right? Typically, like it's been like a big, there is sort of a niche there. And then, but for whatever reason, the businesses I've been in with electronics and manufacturing, things like that, like the more male looking females, should I say, or people like me that are kind of on that a little bit on the androgyny side, we fared really well for some damn reason. And I don't know, and it's this assumption I think people make. I don't know.
I'll tell you this. When I worked at a law firm, there was a semi-casual rule that you could have. This didn't apply when there was a client about. So I worked as a paralegal for about a year, and the rule was that men could take their ties off and women could take their heels off as long as it was not in sight of a client.
Oh,
Okay.
one of those.
So if there was no client in the office and it was just staff, I could kick my shoes off. And the men could take their ties off. And it's just like, what?
I agree, Maya. Yep. Just hate men.
There's nothing radical about them. And there's nothing feminist about them either.
That's one of those things that I've noticed is that because of how much they dislike trans people, they kind of walk all the way back around to being anti-feminist because of this whole like biological essentialism thing when it comes to gender. Basically, you can't have certain characteristics unless you have a vagina. And I'm like, but that's just patriarchy with more steps.
They're doing, our deceased friend Rush Limbaugh, his work from beyond the
When
grave.
did he pop his clogs?
By accident, like they don't even realize it, but they're doing his work. They are the things that he fears and pushing the agenda all at the same time. That's fascinating.
He's still dead. It's great.
I didn't know he would pop his clogs.
Yeah, I think this year it was, right?
Hey.
Yeah.
I wouldn't normally do this, but I'll drink to that.
Yeah, cheers.
He pushed back against all the campaigns that smoking gives you cancer, and then he died of lung cancer. It was great.
Yeah.
I don't advocate for dancing on people's graves. It was very ironic.
The irony.
Is it okay if we urinate on it?
Oh, I highly recommend dancing on people's graves. It is the most gratifying thing. I pissed on Joe McCarthy's grave. It was wonderful. I felt so released.
There's some people, if they die, I would do like a hoedown. Out of your corner, go see Doe in the middle.
Oh my God, Mage. Hold on. Mage has a good idea here. This is something we've never seen before. How about we stop othering people and just treat people on their own merits instead of what they have between their legs or the color of their skin? Oh my God.
I mean, but that
Just
breaks
started a phenomenon.
that breaks
Okay.
the entire system, though, doesn't it?
Basically,
Okay.
that means
I'm
Mage
gonna-
is a communist.
Like the quiet part out loud, that breaks the entire system where men get to control everything. That breaks the entire system where white people get to have privilege.
How did you get
Here's
so
the thing.
radical
I'm
and
gonna
so
have to go.
leftist?
Gonna have to go full British here. We don't do that in Britain. We discriminate against people who look the same as us. So white people hate other white people.
Well, isn't it like
It's
a whole
called
thing?
See,
class.
that's how you do
Yeah,
it, damn it. Make it
isn't it a whole
clear.
thing in
Called
Britain?
class.
Isn't it a whole thing in Britain where like right wing English people hate Polish people, and Polish people are like just diet Britons? I don't know.
So let's
That's
put
the
it
thing
this
I
way.
found out
One of
from
the
the
big
internet.
things.
I may or
One
may
of the
not be
big
true.
things in the guns
Okay.
tank behind Holy Spackle that was the EU referendum was the anti-EU immigration stance that was very anti-Croat. So there was a lot of anti-Croat rhetoric because they were the next country to be given full free movement rights, and the right-wing nutters went, well, first we let in these people from Europe, then we let in these people, and it was like, then we let in the Poles, then we let in, so it's first we let in the Germans, then we let in the Poles, then we let in these people, and now we're going to let in the Croats as well. It's just like,
That's the one, HS.
But I thought what the Tories were all upset about, and this whole unspoken truth behind Brexit was to get rid of all the Muslims. Isn't that the deal?
but here's the thing: 90% of the Muslim population of the UK comes from the Commonwealth.
Oh well.
Comes from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, former Commonwealth countries, sub-Saharan Africa. Comes from the Commonwealth.
Yeah, but they tend not to be white, and I think that's the real issue.
But here's the thing: Britain did this thing called colonialism, and then we said in the 1950s we haven't got enough people to do these jobs. So the colonies that we had, could you come and help us out? And they went, yeah, we'll come and help you out. And then 50 years after these people turned up, because we'd thrown away their entry cards, we decided to deport them back to the Caribbean. It was called the Windrush Scandal. So, and here's the irony. The Home Secretary at the time, Priti Patel, who is herself a child of immigrants, was chucking out the children of immigrants.
Doesn't matter.
But
to
they
them
weren't-
anymore.
but they
It
weren't
doesn't
white.
affect them.
And that's
What I will
that's-
say is that I think we have finally seen the Tory government go to a position where it is in an irrecoverable position with its current leader.
Well, that's the whole hypocrisy behind the same action that the TERFs are doing is with their whole, oh well, we can always tell, but they can't. They'll call out one of their own members if they don't meet this binary magic, because they can't tell, because they don't know, because they're just hate filled. They have no actual criteria for who is and who isn't. It's all made up. It's bullshit. They're just a bunch of cranky old bitches.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
And I can say that because we're the same age.
Welcome,
They
Theo.
just didn't get enough
welcome.
as they got old.
Catnip, why are you tired?
I don't sleep ever. I slept for 2 hours and I woke up like I had slept for a year. So I'm not allowed to sleep anymore.
Thank you,
So I'm just
Cadence.
tired.
And one of my things has been this, right? Not that I'm trying to say white people get picked on because we are the most privileged motherfuckers in the world, but if you technically want to be fair, when we went through that period of like black people didn't want to be called black, they want to be called like a person of a POC or an African American, right? And then it kind of does this, it changes with the times kind of thing, which is what I've noticed. But technically, unless you're an albino, I'm not white. I'm kind of peachish, maybe. I don't know. But,
Nobody has
yeah.
nobody
I
has
just
ever
don't-
meant white when they say white people. Okay, we all know this.
Well, I know, but I think it's silly because you can't. That's like calling Asians yellow people because their skin's more yellow, but their skin's not really yellow. But we're not really white, so why don't we just call people people and not worry about that shit?
But they do call that, and that's based on the stereotype. I can remember pre-Nixon days when they were talking about the dangers of China and communism. They would speak of it as the yellow horde.
Yeah,
people,
yeah.
People
I
here
mean, I
like-
would like to get a person of color to weigh in on this because of the fact that, like, I don't want to erase them. Like, I don't want to erase their life experience or their culture or their identity. I don't think that race is a useful concept, but I also think that it's bad to necessarily say we should pretend like we don't have like differences. Like, I think it's better to celebrate our differences.
No, I'm not
Well,
saying that we shouldn't celebrate it, but I'm saying when it comes to fucking dividing people and all this other shit that's going on, it's just fucking stupid. The whole fucking thing's stupid. It doesn't
all-
matter.
Agreed
all-
there.
It
all
doesn't
I was
matter what
saying
the
is
fucking color of your skin is.
Right.
all I was
Here's
saying
the
is that,
thing, have
is that
people
people
have
of
heard the
color,
song.
people, hold on there, kid. People of color, I think, is a good term for it, that we use today. It really is. I grew up,
Yeah.
and I have seen every racial group get another nickname, over and over and over. Every decade or so, it changes. Well, that's a bunch of bullshit. All that's the point I was trying to make, is that there's always a stereotype that applies to color that people use, and whether it's true or not. American natives are not red, you know, and
No.
are not yellow. And black people are not black. They're brownish.
No,
you know?
they're just different
And-
colors of brown.
And so that just the
And
fact that everybody has
tans
to talk about colors,
caramel.
and it's inaccurately. They're not even Pantone colors.
I know, that's why I hate all that shit.
So,
I mean, the
so
only reason
generalizing it today, the way people tend to do with people of color, I'm comfortable with. I'm really glad that somebody came up with that eventually, because it's, you know, we live in this
Well, there you go. See, Jennison,
this disgusting white culture that has all this hatred. Well, it's a shame we have to refer to
Is it
people of
just-
color as people of color.
well, that's okay. So let me say two things. First of all, let me just to cap that off, Jenny, what you were saying. I just don't think anybody should be stereotyped by the color of their skin, no matter what. Okay. Second of all,
Yeah.
Jenna said, no. Majority of us do not prefer to be referenced as people of color. And that's what that's what I'm saying. Like it's ever flowing and changing. It depends on the politics behind it. And like, if people start saying things about POCs or black people, then they tend to lean one way or the other, you know, like that's kind of how it goes. So what I do in my area is, like, I got to know these two black guys that came into work all the time. And I said to them, hey guys, I feel like we're kind of buddies now. And they're like, yeah, absolutely. And I said, well, you know, I just moved to this area and I just want to be politically correct and I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable. So what do people of color, black people, what do you guys prefer here? And they said, we just prefer black. I'm like, okay, cool. Thank you. If that changes, can you let me know? And he's like, absolutely. I'll fucking tell you. I'm like, thanks, man. I appreciate that. The best thing to do is just ask somebody what they prefer. It's just like, what preferred pronoun are you? You know, what are your preferred pronouns? Oh, I'm assigned female at birth. I prefer he, she. Okay, or she, her. Okay, cool. You know, never hurts to ask. They didn't get mad. I was kind of scared to ask them because I didn't know how we were cool. But yeah, I know, right, Jenna? Really, I hadn't noticed that your name was Black Female Atheist. Thank you for that.
It's interesting because like there was a push, I think it was the 90s and late
Thank
80s,
you, ma'am.
where it was like African American, and then my black friends would be like, I'm not African. Don't call me African American. Like they didn't like identify that. Like they didn't come from there. Like, and she used to get so mad. And I was like, even back then. And then finally they changed it again. It's like someone decided something and didn't actually talk to people and ask what they wanted.
Well,
one of the reasons I
I'm so
like
shocked.
POC is because you hear these, and you always hear out of a racist when they're trying to say, look, I'm not racist because I have black friends, and I have yellow friends, and I have red friends, and I have green friends. No, nobody has any green friends. Don't use that. It's trite. It's stereotypic of a racist. Just stop that. If you want to refer to that you have, quote, minorities as friends, just say minorities or say people of color. This classification of color by color is just insane. It makes me livid.
Yeah, but like I would caution people for saying.
I went just nuts when Barack Obama was nominated for president. Oh, well, he's the first half black, half white person. Okay, but why do you call him black then? if he's half and half, why do you call him black? And what does black mean?
See, Mage, when I first heard people of color, it was referred to as being only aimed at black people, and I really didn't like it for that same reason. It made me think of colored people, and I was like, that's not fucking cool, dude. And then I found out over time that basically from being on around you guys that are in the chat and everything on YouTube, that it was, not aimed directly at black people. And I was like, oh, okay. Like that's different, that's a different ball of wax, So
it is just another way to other people who aren't white.
Well, I mean, it is, yeah. But I think that it either could be taken as a slur, or it could be taken as, I'm not going to sit here and say Latino, Mexican, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
So if you're talking about if you're generalizing the category, I don't see any reason to not use it. But I think anywhere you live, you should definitely check with people around you, because things change, and sometimes you'll hear people say something different, and you're like, oh.
I remember hearing
somebody by using the term from last year, so I just ask. I just fucking ask.
I do remember hearing how much like African American was like offensive to many of the people I knew, because there were, like, I'm Haitian, like, like I'm not African, I'm Haitian. Like their identity had nothing to do with Africa, like, and you can't just go like you can poll everybody that and ask them what they want to be called and do your best.
Yeah.
But like for the most part, every black person I've ever met prefers black.
I think it's also dangerous too, because sometimes if you're well-meaning left or you're a flailing righty that's like trying to defend themselves, I think like both sometimes I hear basically the words, and it's really close, I don't see color. And it sounds like it means like egalitarian sweetness. I don't see color, but also people use it to deny a whole experience.
Mm-hmm.
I deny your whole experience of how you've experienced the world and how you've been discriminated with, because I don't see color. So therefore, we're just going to, kind of smear the,
Therefore, your experience never happened.
Right, and
and
it's very dangerous.
I don't see color. Everybody sees color. Everybody has these little niches in their background, or where they grew up with some level of hate, some level of bigotry. I don't care who you are. And to say that, well, I don't see color. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And just don't use it as a deciding factor. That's what matters.
And that's my thing. When it comes to, oh God. Okay, here's a for instance. Right now, Heather and I are looking at resumes. No. Don't start. Wait till I start talking. You're gonna drive me up the wall.
I've kept
Stop.
Shut
you
quite
can talk
a lot.
next. So when I'm looking through these resumes, some people's names sound white, some sound Hispanic, some are Indian, some are native, some are, like Indian from India. But I'm not sitting there going, oh, I don't know if I like their name. Now, Heather does want to keep all female staff, so we are leaning towards more females, but we don't care what their fucking name is. So I'm not sitting there going, oh, if I was considering somebody for a part based on an ethnic background, or let's say, for instance, we really would like to have somebody in there speak Spanish, so at least two of the providers speak Spanish, because one of them right now doesn't, two of them do. And it's good because sometimes you get patients in, and they don't speak they speak very little English, and that's fine. So we want to have that, so we watch for things like that. But well, I'm not worried about what the fuck they look like or what the color of their skin is or whatever. I want to see their qualifications and if they're going to be a good fit and if. So yeah, stuff like that. No, I don't see color. When it comes to somebody telling you about their lives and their experience and everything, fuck yeah, I do. Because if we're talking about racial issues and a black person says something, I'm going to fucking listen because I don't know because I'm fucking white. So fuck yeah, I'm going to see the color of their skin then. Go ahead, Phoebe. I'm done.
I have absolutely no idea what I was going to say. I completely lost my train of thought.
That's why I have to keep going because I'm ADD and I'll never fucking remember what I was going to say again.
But
it's gone.
Listening to this conversation as somebody who is not an American, it feels really weird to listen to it. Genuinely, this is a really weird conversation for me as somebody who is not an American to listen to. Because in Britain, it's not necessarily your skin color, which is the overriding factor. It is your religion and your nationality.
And a class. You got a class issue.
And class as well. And the reason that religion is such an enormous issue is, well, Northern Ireland. And a friend of mine worked for Alphabet, as it is now. And what they did was they just sent out the American ethnic diversity monitoring form. And the legal department in the UK sent it back and said, this is illegal in the UK. 100% the US ethnic diversity monitoring form used by Alphabet is illegal in the UK because it asks for characteristics that you can't ask for. And in Northern Ireland, you have to ask on the monitoring form whether you are a Catholic, whether you are a Protestant, or whether you are neither. Because there is a sectarian issue in Northern Ireland, and monitoring that issue is required by law to prevent discrimination against the Catholic minority population in Northern Ireland. So as a very Western, very European woman here, I see this issue and I'm seeing it from a very, very different perspective.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you are. Okay, so I'm going to let you guys talk for a minute. I'll be right back. I'm going to go hit the head. Go to the loo, as it were.
You're going to strain the potatoes, are you?
So,
I'm going to talk to a man about a horse.
Oh,
you're going to talk to a man about a dog, is the phrase in the UK. But yes, getting back to what Jenny said, who here has heard the song Born in the USA by Bruce Springsteen?
Oh, I think I've heard it a couple times.
Oh, yeah.
And how many of you have actually read the lyrics independently for what they are?
I have, but nobody on the right wing ever has.
Right, exactly.
So all these people that say that Born in the USA is a patriotic song, it's not. It's an anti-war song.
No, it's not. No.
It's an anti-war song, and it uses the word yellow as a dual meaning word.
Yeah.
So it uses the word yellow to refer to people who are of Asian heritage and to people who are cowards.
Mm-hmm.
And basically what it is alluding to is it's an anti-war song that basically says that the US is committing war crimes.
Yeah. I mean, yes. This is a fact.
Because they were.
Well, napalm is a wonderful, wonderful thing to go and use on civilian populations. Great.
So, there's a lot of
sarcasm.
cadence songs that my brother learned when he was in the military, and there are literally cadence songs about dropping napalm on kids.
Yep.
So, this is not a thing that they're even remotely ashamed of.
What I will say is that when I was enlisted, somebody said to me, "We're going with the Americans again," because we were based in Norfolk. And there's a big American base there. And the thing was that we would always say is working with the Americans, it was like working with cowboys on a jolly. That's how we used to view the Americans. We just used to view them as undisciplined and with a bit of disdain.
Cowboys on a what?
On a jolly.
On a jolly. What's a jolly mean?
Like, you know when someone goes joyriding in a car?
Okay.
Same thing.
All right.
Yeah, but we would say, "Oh God, it's a cowboy on a jolly."
Yeah.
we would cringe when we'd have to do joint exercises with them, and it would be a bit ooh.
So the U.S. military deliberately recruits a very specific type of person, and
Yeah, poor.
that yes, there is that, but like you also like
Poor
they
doesn't necessarily mean uneducated.
It's kind of
No.
like it's kind of like our police forces also recruit a very specific type of person, and that is the type of person who is easily taken up into propaganda about why doing horrible things to other people is actually good. Because my brother was one of those. My brother is literally one of those. He went to Afghanistan and then came back, and all of his favorite stories were about how many brown people he got to blow up.
Oh, how wonderful. How wonderful.
Yeah.
But in Britain, there is a publication called Soldier Magazine, which is an in-house publication for the British military, specifically the British Army. And I remember in 2008, 2007, 2008, picking up a copy of Soldier Magazine, and it was basically saying discriminating against people based on their sexual orientation is wrong. Don't you dare do it, or else you'll just get disciplined and you'll get court-martialed. There's like a 2-page spread in it. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
And there was also one, I remember picking up another one, and it basically said, trans people are welcome. Go away. It said, since 1999, trans people have been allowed in the British military. Learn it, accept it, move on.
We still kind of have don't ask, don't tell. Kind of. It's different now than it used to be, but that's still basically the policy.
I remember seeing a video at a mandatory training session of the first military-civil partnership that took place, which at the time was the UK equivalent of gay marriage. Slightly different, and it was civil ceremony only. But they said this is perfectly acceptable. In the British Army, this is acceptable. You will not, we do not accept, condone, or allow any homophobia at all. Full stop. It is illegal. It's against the uniform. It's against the uniform code. Full stop. It's against the uniform code in the UK.
Yeah, but laws don't make morality. We all know that.
Yeah, but laws may not make morality, but seeing it come down as a direct order is something different. When you have officers ordering recruits, that is something really quite significant, I think.
Yeah. I had kind of the experience of the last job that I had when I worked for FedEx. FedEx is an international corporation. It was the only job I've ever had where they were very aggressively pro-trans. And it really does make a difference as a trans person having that kind of large structure being behind you and saying, hey, no, while you're in any of our buildings anywhere and on any FedEx property, you will not be discriminated against, or you can report that to HR and they will be fired. And I had experiences where they did actually back that up with action. And so like, it doesn't fix everything. And some of the ways that they addressed it were very clumsy, but it does make a difference to have those structures be supportive. Like, that's huge.
Yeah.
I worked at one company that was like that. Of course, I owned it, but
yeah,
that helps. That helps.
Oh, so what? The reason I was gone a minute ago is that my computer just completely shat itself and decided that it had to update to Windows 11 right now. And now there's all this like crap in the margins of my monitor that I don't know how to make go away.
But yeah,
I've been fending that off. I'm like, I don't know about this 11 thing.
But
It,
yeah,
well,
I
it
say I've-
decided for me. Sorry, go ahead.
I've just looked up when it was, and it wasn't just like some mid-ranking officer. It was the chief of the general staff of the British Army, who was on a gay rights parade, who was on a pride parade. And he gave a speech at a pride parade. General Sir Richard Dannett, who was the head of the British Army in 2008. He was the one who penned that article I was talking about. So when you see it come from the very, very top, as a direct order from the very, very top, you know you have recourse as somebody who is at the very, very bottom to go, excuse me, that person has violated a direct order from the guy at the top.
Yeah.
And that feels really, really good as somebody who at the time was openly presenting as a bisexual male.
Mhm.
And that may sound like a really weird thing to say, but it's those little things and doing it so early. And then you see what's happening today, and the British Army still going to all of this nonsense that's happening.
Yeah.
It actually makes me quite proud to say that I was in the British Army. Even though some of the things and the reasons that I left the British Army were things I've discussed in other places, but to say that I was there for a period of time, I go, yeah, actually, hang on.
Yeah. I'm a godless communist, and I will never enlist in any form of American military.
British military,
that's-
French military, the Foreign Legion,
Too old for them to take now. so
Gurkhas,
about it.
I don't know.
reservists,
I don't-
National Guard, Coast Guard.
I do like independent volunteering, but that's not really the same thing. But no, my experience coming from like my brothers were both very, very, very into the military, and I come from a military family, and that is just a lifestyle that I would not be able to do. It would probably break me. I'm very soft and squishy.
I will avoid any job where I'm required to potentially kill other human beings.
Yep.
I will avoid any job where the uniform is not particularly fab. You know, it's just.
But yeah, when I joined, it was
All right, Jenny.
What I will say is that when I joined,
Marine.
it was join the army or another branch of the military or claim unemployment because the economy had tanked. Those were my two choices: join the military or claim unemployment. And I didn't much fancy claiming unemployment.
I also think some
Which
military,
better.
some military is
Well,
more likely
unemployment paid
to.
50 quid a week.
I wonder if that's different than it is here, because here getting unemployment is a very humiliating affair.
Oh, it's ridiculous. It's awful.
I was just gonna say that some people, like depending on your country, you might be less likely to kill somebody. I would think in some countries you still have the soldier aspect, but I mean, does Canada ever actually kill people? I'm gonna have to look this up.
Canada hasn't been in a war.
Yeah.
I'm going to say
They
this. If you
went to
realize
Iraq
that
with us.
Canada was in Iraq, Canada was
Yeah.
a member of NATO, and Canada was in Afghanistan. Canada
They're just
provided
not-
peacekeeping troops in Sierra Leone and in the former Yugoslavia
And World War II and War. You know,
and World
Do you
War
know that,
One.
like,
Canada's got a pretty fierce military. You
Yeah.
don't really want to fuck with them.
No,
Yeah.
you don't.
No,
Canadians,
Canada's
we was-
military
we-
is very well trained.
They have two submarines.
When we do joint exercises with the Canadian military, we would be, oh yeah, okay, we're going to have to be really professional here. Whereas with the Americans, it was a cowboy and a jolly.
Where's Sokka? He's Navy for Canada. I like to make fun of him.
And you know why the Canadian military is so angry and mean? It's because they don't know how to make poutine, I guess, in the mess hall.
Oh,
It's just
That's just French fries and gravy.
gets them so mad. And
But what about bloomin' onions? The Australian delicacy.
That's not a real thing. Like, Americans made that up.
Bloomin' onions.
oh,
I have had a bloomin' onion before, I've had a bloomin' onion before, and I regretted it a lot because after we had it, we looked at the menu and it's like, oh, this
Is it
for
a real
2
one?
portions. It's a thing that you share. For 2 portions, it's like 2,800 calories.
Is it like the Outback blooming onion or different?
Yeah, so you
blooming
can get
onion?
it at Outback. It's where it's called the bloomin' onion, but other places do it too. Where like Texas Roadhouse calls it the Texas Tunyon.
Of course they do.
Yeah.
I'll call it the Sarlacc pit.
I mean, yeah. But if you like onions, it's great.
I think somebody should start a Texas. Well, I don't even want to bring Mex into it, but a Tex-Mex kind of restaurant, and just call it the Texas Big Eagle. You know, it was pretty much tell you all about Texas.
Why did I think of like the eagle sound effect, like screeching as in the air? Like I can't do it, but you know.
Yep. Texas barbecue is like the stuff that dreams are made of, though.
I picture like an eagle carrying a taco.
But what makes it Texas?
Some war they had with Mexico way back when.
Is it? Do you have to wear it draped in a Texan flag or something to call it Texan barbecue? I don't know. How does it differ from an Oklahoma barbecue or a
Phoebe, barbecue is not barbecue. A lot of people assume that barbecue is always a tomato-based sauce that's kind of sweet, kind of savory, but there are like a dozen different types of barbecue. Some which are vinegary, some which are hot, some which are not. It's barbecue is all over the place.
It's an art.
I always thought that a barbecue was something that you had in like garden made of brick with some racks on it and some coals that you set fire to.
Yes.
There are these.
Yes.
Okay.
But so barbecue cooking in the South, every state has its own method of making barbecue for various dishes, like brisket or pulled pork or ribs. And they're very proud of these distinct styles. So Texas barbecue is not Memphis barbecue, is not South Carolina, you know, like it's all different.
KC,
Texas
South
barbecue,
Carolina,
it has a lot of Southwest Mexican influence. So it's got like chipotle and peppers and stuff mixed in with the seasoning. It's very, very good. Anyway, we're serious about
person
food
in
here.
me has to be careful how I respond to colon because I could say a number of things that would be considered rude and offensive.
California barbecue is toasted soy with guacamole.
I don't like the vinegar based. It's too vinegary for me, Ox. I don't like it.
Now,
Only
me
if
personally,
it's
when it comes to ribs,
only if it's like sometimes with chicken wings. I like that North Carolina vinegary barbecue, but with everything else, I don't.
Yeah. When
I
it comes to
like
ribs,
sweet.
Memphis style barbecue is the shit.
It's true. Memphis is really good. Yeah. That's right,
Anyway.
Theo.
So it's interesting. Tex-Mex has a very specific taste, and then I have what in San Diego what's called Baja Mex, which is a weird. I don't know, like a lot of. It's not as spicy and not as beany, I guess maybe. And so like it's interesting to see the differences, and it really does matter if you go to California and you're in SoCal and you get a taco. And then you go to Arizona, it's gonna taste a bit different. And you go to Texas, and it's like a whole new world. And it's just weird how that works, right? I
Well,
love
then
it.
you go to Mexico, and the tacos are totally different than anything in the U.S. And then if you come up to where I'm at, because it's such a huge Hispanic population, you can actually get those kinds of tacos here, and they're really fucking good.
So there's actually like a really, really huge Mexican influence here in Indianapolis. And so there are a lot of really great places around here to get very, very authentic tasting Mexican food. But none of them have Mexican sounding names. So you have to know the area to know that that's a great place to go. Like, so there's this one in Broad Ripple. It's called Biscuits.
Oh, good. I thought it was named Chad.
It was called Biscuits, but it has some of the best Mexican food I've ever had in my life.
Yes, purple. I agree.
bananas.
I do like the tart, like that tangy with some zip to it barbecue sauce. I don't like sweet barbecue sauce.
I don't like any barbecue that I've ever tasted. I just don't like it. It's icky.
Hi, Sarah. How
Sorry.
are you? Thank you for stopping by, Kalon. Hope I said that right. It's like 5 different ways to say your name. Of course, if you chopped them into 2/3 and 1/3, you'd have a semicolon.
Oh,
Didn't.
Okay.
Anyways, okay, moving on from that. Yeah, thanks, Larry. That was bad.
What was the gay computer programmer's favorite command? C:
Oh my God.
enter.
Wow.
Thank you, Jenna. At least somebody appreciates my stupidity.
Well, we all appreciate your stupidity, or else we wouldn't be here.
oh,
Yes, Purple.
Purple.
I
We made
agree.
our own.
I do
oh,
not
sorry, go
like
ahead.
sweet on meat. No sweet on meat.
Purple, shouldn't you be in
I
bed?
made my own barbecue sauce for Justin because for his birthday he wanted me to make pulled pork, and the sauce that I made, it was all the sugars. It was brown sugar and honey and applesauce and spices and peppers. It was delicious. It was very sweet though.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
like sugar on meat. It's
the only thing, the sweetest I can do with a meat is if you take like the sugar, cinnamon, apples and stuff them inside of a pork chop. It's my only exception to that rule.
I feel like if what's on the meat is sweet, it's fine. But if the meat itself tastes sweet, it's weird. And there's some where there's not the sauce. You don't taste the sauce. It's kind of baked into it. That's weird for me.
Okay, I'm sorry, you're right. There's my second exception to the rule. I do like leftover turkey, white meat with the cranberries jelly shit on it, but also that's kind of tart and not very sweet. I don't like the over sweet shit.
Phoebe,
So, yeah, homemade's the best.
Can you still get in UK that I saw it once. There's a can, and inside the can there's a complete turkey dinner with like mashed potato dressing, and it's just in different layers. And
Fucking hope not.
I've seen that.
I fucking
I've
hope
seen that.
not.
It's like Thanksgiving parfait.
That sounds really scary. That does, Jimmy.
Yeah,
That sounds incredibly
I'd
scary.
rather eat a dry turkey.
I'd rather go hungry. And give that
I'm
to someone
perfectly
who is
fine with
hungrier than
spending
me.
3 hours in the kitchen.
Yeah, I'll take a few hours in the kitchen, quite happily.
Oh, I spent 4 hours of Christmas Day chained to the stove. It was okay. I lived.
But
Theo, I make my own version of that. I make herb and garlic butter for meat. Yes.
Or as we say,
specifically chicken and turkey. Definitely, I have this nice blend. It's got rosemary and thyme and sage and some fresh minced fucking garlic and some good like Carrie's Irish Gold butter, best fucking butter in the world.
No parsley.
Do that when you do
we
steak on
just
the
call
grill.
that Kerry Gold.
Huh?
We just call that Kerry Gold in the UK.
Yeah, well here
we don't bother with the Irish.
It says Carrie's Irish Gold on the label,
Yeah.
so I am.
But yeah, we've dropped the Irish.
European butter is better because it has higher fat content.
This is true. Because the laws in the UK and the European Union demand a minimum fat content for it to be called butter.
It's true.
What is it if it's not butter?
It's margarine.
It's no. It's an oil-based. It's a milk-based spread.
Really? Okay.
Margarine is something completely different.
No, margarine is like oil, different bases of oil whipped into a butter-ish form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hydrogenated oil.
Under high pressure, it's the only way that the molecules will get along.
And the original and the actual and the true color of margarine is day-glow pink before it's dyed to give it a similar color. Day-glow.
Really?
Yeah.
In Wisconsin, colored margarine was illegal because it competed with our favorite export, butter. And for years and years and years, you would buy this white glob of fat, and you would come with it optionally was a packet of yellow dye that you would put on it and then mix it all in to make it yellow.
Oh, I meant.
Except if you went down to the Illinois state border, you could get it already mixed for the same price. Yeah, that's it. Christmas dinner.
That's not actually something real, because Game is not actually a food manufacturer; they're a computer game manufacturer. That's a spoof.
I don't know.
That's
too much.
Well, it looks tasty.
I can tell you now, that's a spoof.
Anyways, my parents used to go down and they would get orders from all the different neighbors and family and friends and stuff, and go down and buy like 75 pounds of margarine at once and bring it back up. And they were in risk of getting arrested for it. That it was illegal, and they enforced it. And then finally they did away with such silly laws.
People wonder why I complain about big government going over the top. Why are we
okay? But I
laws
actually
of the color of margarine?
So I watch a lot of cooking shows from across the pond, and so I really like Sorted Food, and they talk a lot about like food regulations in the UK. But I think that there are some food regulations in the UK that we should have here. Like you guys have plain packaging laws that are kind of different from ours, where that you have to be very, very plain about what is actually in the product. Whereas on ours, it's got a bunch of random bullshit. You have no idea what it is unless you have a chemistry degree.
You're not stuck with corn syrup and everything, right?
No. Hydrogenated trans fats and corn syrup are very difficult to use in the UK.
Yeah, so high fructose corn syrup is in everything. It's in tomato soup.
Hey, Jet, I'm not raining, I'm snowing.
Oh, the weather outside.
We didn't get any snow here. Oh,
and
sidebar.
Oh, delightful.
They got stuff in the mountains here, but not where we are. But the ski resort is in heaven right now.
I'm in Indianapolis, which has had like snow on Christmas almost every year I was born, or every year since I was born, until the last like 3 years. Today it got up to 62 degrees. And this area is usually 3 feet deep in snow by now.
Where are you?
I'm in Indianapolis.
Indianapolis, Indiana.
Yeah, I know, because I lived in Ohio and we had the same fucking weather as you.
Wait,
oh, my browser keeps
freezing. In Michigan. Again, another food regulation, continuing on this food regulation, Ben, is jams.
Anyway.
Jams versus fruit spreads. For it to be a jam, it must contain at least 55% sugar. Minimum 55%
I don't
sugar.
like seeds, as long as it doesn't have seeds in it.
Can somebody explain something to me? What is the difference between jam, preserves, and marmalade?
Jams are berries.
I know this.
Marmalades are citrus fruits, and preserves are
grapes. Clearly,
well, you can get strawberry preserves or strawberry jam.
Sugar content.
Preserves are meant to be whole fruits. Preserves are either whole fruits or halved fruits. Jams are where it's been mushed up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Marmalades are always citrus, though.
Yep.
Why?
You can get lime, you can get lemon.
Paddington Bear eats marmalade.
Because it's the.
I would love to
it is.
Lemon marmalade. I've never seen it.
But I thought
ate his marmalade sandwich.
Actually, I love orange marmalade. That shit is the bomb. Not the cheap stuff. You get the really good stuff. It is really fucking. Oh my god.
Paddington
make like
a hard
orange marmalade and peanut butter.
Yes. Yes,
one
Jenny.
of the things that.
Yes, Jenny.
One of the things that we got for Christmas was we got chipotle pepper bacon jam, and I am dying to crack it open and see what it tastes like.
3 to 5 feet an hour sometimes. That's absolutely true, Rocks.
Yeah.
I also used to live in
wait, in an hour?
I lived on the northeast part of PA, and then I also lived in the southeast part of upstate New York, around the other side of the border where I lived in Pennsylvania, and we would just get like 3 or 4 feet like that.
On the eastern end of Lake Ontario, on the southern shore, of course, but it's in this one particular area that gets crossed over by all the different weather storms, and they get lake effect snow by the billions of tons at a time. I've seen pictures of Buffalo when they're having a lake effect snow. Half the city is absolutely thick with 2 feet of snow, and the rest of it's dry.
Y'all need to come here where it's warm. I'll build an ark or a snowmobile.
It was 56 degrees here today. Like I said, there was snow up in the mountains when it rained the day before, but not here. We got one dusting
snow
for
in our
about
local.
12 hours so far this year.
Yeah. So like even like us, we have a dusting of snow. But you guys have some pretty high mountains by you, don't you? I can't remember what they're called.
Oh, by me?
By Albuquerque,
we have
Santa Fe, I thought.
Yeah, we have the Sandias and all kinds of fucking mountains.
Yeah, it's really pretty because it's like desert, and then boom, there's like
Yeah, we can just like drive outside of town and go up a mountain and go up another like 4,000 feet or something, and it's like a long ass drive up this mountain, and the ski resort and shit's up there, and up there it's all snow covered right now.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
We got snow yesterday night, and we're going to get it again tomorrow night.
We're going to get rain. That's happening, and I know that isn't news anywhere else, but we're San Diego.
Yeah, it's like saying it's raining in England. It's like, what? Saying it's raining in England is like saying it's sunny in California. It's like, what?
Oh, aren't they getting it just absolutely destroyed with snowpack right now?
What?
Thick,
I didn't hear a word of
4 or
that.
5 feet at a time.
I'm not following.
Snow in California in the mountains.
Oh,
they're very dependent on their snowpack for their water supply.
Oh yeah, we need the Sierra Nevadas to fill up with snow, and then
And I hear this year they are doing it gangbusters.
Yeah, we're hoping.
See,
We had a
what I will say
polar
is,
dump or something that happened on top of there, so that's good.
Yeah.
as a European, I have absolutely no idea what any of the temperatures you've just mentioned are. I have absolutely no idea what any of the units of measurement that you have mentioned are. You could be talking about something that's as warm as my sauna is allegedly, or the middle of the night that it is outside. I have absolutely no idea what 70 or 54 translates.
So a foot.
70's like 21 to you or something like that.
Okay.
A foot of snow would be 30 centimeters of snow.
Okay.
If that helps.
So
and then I don't know how to convert Celsius to Fahrenheit and back.
3 feet. 3 feet is 39.37, or 39.37 inches is 1 meter. 3 feet. 3 feet is
something like that. Yeah.
I muted you till you fix that, buddy.
Thank you very much, mate. I love you. I love you.
How you doing, man? You doing better?
No, I'm very drunk. Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
Thank you for what I mean. I need for my mental health to be talking to people, and you let me in. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. I just want you to be better, man. I want you to take better care of yourself, is what I want.
Yeah.
Serious.
Kyle. So, just like you, I needed some people to.
Oh, look at that! Look at that, Mage. I was right. I guessed that shit.
Guys, it's raining.
70 degrees is
right
21.1 Celsius.
You don't understand. That's exciting for me. It's raining. Okay.
Oh, so yeah, so that means that here it would have been like 20 Celsius today.
Yes.
Yeah. Centimeters.
What was it where you are?
Centimeters and meters, millimeters.
You know, the logically organized way to measure things instead of the nonsense that we do.
Apparently, we're gonna blow away in San Diego. There's gale warnings.
Yeah, we got meters and centimeters.
We're getting blown.
Oh.
Do you use the Beaufort scale? Please tell me you at least use the Beaufort scale for wind.
What is that?
No idea what that
So,
is.
like, force 9 is a hurricane. Force 7 is
we
gale.
do miles per hour. No, we do miles per hour.
Oh.
A hurricane speed starts at 70 miles an hour.
So what? We have 12 inches to a foot and 5,280 feet to a mile.
Look at there
yeah,
you go.
that's a good way to
All you have
measure
to
wind.
remember is 32 equals freezing equals 0.
68 equals 20. 98.6 equals 36.
So do you have to just multiply it by
37.
32
I know that one. It's
for every
37.
degree of Celsius? I don't understand.
Well, it has to do with 5/9 and all that crap.
5/8 or
32
5/9 or
40,
something
40
absurd.
below
Five-
and
yeah,
40
it's 5/9
below
or something like that.
Celsius is 40 below Fahrenheit, roughly.
So that's where the is that where the crossover point is?
Yep.
Freezing, yeah.
No. I know there's a crossover point between Celsius and Fahrenheit for the maths
minus
work,
40.
and it's
Minus-
minus 40.
That's weird.
Yes, Krabby. Google it. Exactly.
Hey, but then
How
I
you
wouldn't
doing,
have had to.
Ollie?
Hey, you can say Google it, but then how do I have this wonderful conversation with all of my American friends on this stream?
Listen, you have a measurement called stones. I don't know.
A measurement called what?
Stone.
Stones.
Yeah,
Oh,
Stones is
stones.
obsolete. It's obsolete. That's
Stones.
obsolete.
And hands. They have hands too.
I remember
That's
that.
obsolete as well.
I
There
remember
were
that
all
because
those-
there was the stupid diet fad that went around that was lose 1 stone in a week. And I'm like, how are you going to lose 14 pounds in a week?
Or
I don't-
purple instead
Oh,
of
I thought it
taking
was. I
Celsius.
thought it was they're going to chop off one of your nuts. Oh, jeez.
Oh, no.
Purple
I mean, I don't
said
have enough to
Celsius
weigh
to-
14 pounds.
Celsius to Fahrenheit, multiply by 9/5 and add 32. Or you could just type in
Oh,
the
okay.
temperature on Google and it'll tell you what it is in Celsius.
B, you're
Well,
We
right.
gotta
Multiply by
put it out
9/5 and
there.
add 30. That just seems like too much work for these
Yeah.
days.
But yeah, in the UK, stones is obsolete. Furlongs are becoming obsolete now. Furlongs have now been metricated, so 1 furlong is now exactly 200 meters. So a horse race is over. So a furlong is now been metricated to 200 meters. So a 8 furlong horse race is now 1,600 meters exactly. So it makes no difference.
I'm 14 stones in weight. 14 stones. So
14 stones? Yeah.
yes.
Is this
I
being
would-
broadcast on
I'm a lot of
Twitch?
stones.
I
Yes,
feel like
yes.
I just saw nipples.
So please do not remove tops because this is being broadcast on. Don't
No,
do that.
Don't do it.
Sorry.
You do anything like that, you
Sorry,
hey, go
sorry,
on, brother.
Control
Yeah.
yourself. Don't be here.
Yeah, Twitch doesn't know the difference. They just freak out about all of it.
Yeah, a pint is
Yeah.
a novelty unit in the UK. It's a pint is a novelty unit. Milk used to be sold in pint. It's not. It's sold in litres now. The only place you'll get a pint now is
Yeah.
draft beer in a pub, and that's
And-
only really
and
for tourist
dram?
reasons. And
How much is a dram?
A dram is like that much.
a British pint is 568
literally.
millilitres. A US pint is 435.
But I want
A
to
dram
wish
is like
everyone-
2.5
everyone
milliliters or something like that. Some small.
A dram, that's a measurement of that's a unit of measurement that's gone out the window as well.
I use drams because I use drams because I make
You
candy,
don't know. There's no
and it's the
ounce.
only time I've ever had to use drams because the flavor oils that the candy companies make come in drams.
I want to wish everyone in the hangout a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
But what I would say about the American system of cups is that it
Mhm.
works when you're using it as proportions. If you're
Mhm.
making like a cake based on proportions, then
Mhm.
it works. So if it's if it's in a ratio of 1 cup of this and 3 cups of this and half a cup, then it works
Yeah.
because you're not trying to be
Yeah.
precise. It's just you're doing it
Yeah.
in proportions.
It works as like a good enough scale, but I actually got into baking by weight
Yep.
over
Yes.
baking by volume, and I found that baking by weight provides more consistent results.
A
Oh,
cup
than
most
is
baking
certainly
by-
does.
3.9 ounces or something like that.
When I did my pastry chef section of my chef's course, it was baking by weight, not baking by volume.
Mhm.
And they would deliberately give you stuff that was you had to read the rest for the exam. You had to read the recipe very carefully.
Mhm.
I'll admit,
And
is
it
that ounce or a troy ounce?
A troy ounce is only used. Yeah, I'll tell you a troy ounce. A troy ounce is only used for precious metals.
So I know about
only
that
used on
because my
exchanges.
my father-in-law that I'm staying with right now, he is very, very into getting like the commemorative gold coins because eventually our system of currency is going to collapse and all we're going to have is gold coins. But so yeah, he was
He's
asking
not
me to
wrong
help
with the
him
fiat
calculate
currency stuff.
the
He's
value
not wrong.
of the silver that he's got right now.
I
mean, like all good things must come.
Well,
to an
once
end,
it
but,
once it flops, that gold's not going to be worth shit except to make stuff out of for necessities.
Yeah,
And it's
gold is
not going to
gonna-
be
Well,
too
also,
soft
like,
to
a
work
lot
with.
of the-
Nobody's going to want it.
If Armageddon hits,
Well,
gold ain't gonna be worth shit. It's 552.
That's
or
exactly
something.
what I'm
It's
saying.
gonna be worth lots.
Larry,
Well, the
your
bigger problem
relative, he's perfectly correct about the fiat currency because there is nothing backing the value of the US dollar anymore. So therefore, there is nothing backing the value of any other currency.
There's a huge prevalence of scam programs that do this, where they will sell you coins that are not actually made out of the metal that they say it's made out of, or they're plated. So if they're not real, then it doesn't matter either way. They're worthless.
This is true.
No, I would be spending the last bit of my money right before that happens on survival supplies, food, and such. Yeah.
5.62 and 7.
This is one of those. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It's going to be the ammunition of choice. All those AR-15s sold in America. That's what they take. One of the two.
I didn't hear what you say.
What size
Jenny.
caliber?
What did you say before that?
5.62 or 7.62 ammo.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. We talked over each other. So
people talk about my friend circle. We all have kind of a fascination with the apocalypse and what you would actually do if there was like a catastrophic supply chain breakdown. And I have Republican pundits that I follow on Twitter are always like, I'm gonna cook my neighbors, and my strategy would be like, I'm gonna go buy some fucking beans and grow a garden, because beans will grow in any kind of soil. They require the least maintenance of any kind of vegetable. They've got protein, and they grow in they germinate in 3 seconds. Grow beans, people.
Just keep the rabbits away.
It's
I
true.
can't wait.
You're right.
I can't wait for that to happen, and all these city buttheads coming out to the country and I'm going to survive out there. Like hell you are.
No, you are, you motherfucker. You can't go to the bodega and buy a sandwich. Yeah,
so
you're right.
I do live in the city, but I love to garden, and I have a fascination with gardening and canning and cooking and preserving and all that kind of stuff. So I've got jams and beans and soups stacked up for days. We'll be okay.
Oh, absolutely.
But all these people that don't know how to test soil pH are going to be fucked.
So, yeah.
Oh, well, so it happens that I'm married to somebody that does that. So,
yeah, I'm actually
we'll
qualified. My degree qualifies me as a soil scientist. My first degree.
Oh, some of us are gonna live.
So yeah, if you need me to come round and tell you how much lime to spread on your soil to balance out your pH, I can happily do that. But getting back to what I was saying about when I was doing my pastry chef, they would deliberately give you a recipe that was set for a set number of people. So it would say, this is a recipe for one person. And the exam would be, well, you got to do batch cooking for 100 people. And you've got the standard length of time for a prep service, which would probably be about 3 hours, would be the standard length of time for that. And you'd have to sit there and you have to work it all out and then just go. And people don't realize just how intense it is working in a catering environment if you've not actually worked in the catering environment before. They just go, oh, they only do that for the TV. No, it really is like that, and then some.
Yeah.
The only thing that was different was that there was no swearing where I worked.
Yeah. I've cooked for smallish groups. I've probably never cooked for more than about 20 people at a time by myself. But I couldn't imagine doing a great affair like that.
When I worked at an international school at Christmas, I remember I was part of a brigade, and the station that I was on, there was 3 of us, and we had to prepare 840 servings.
I know I've only ever really cooked for the family or like small gatherings around the house. But
Yeah. So we'd have
sounds
people that come
exciting.
in. So people would come in waves. So we had 5 waves of people, and then and then at the very end of the service, we had to make sure we'd left enough over so that we could eat.
Yep.
And then after we did the lunch service, we had to make sure that we ate and didn't hang around because we still then had a dinner service to do.
Mm-hmm. And then 900 sets of dishes to wash.
But we had staff that were employed to do that.
Oh, okay.
So
Well, that's
the
all right.
catering. So the way that the kitchen was set up was you had 3 distinct groups of people. One wore black shirts, one wore blue shirts, one wore white shirts. So if you were a blue shirt, you were either serving the food or washing up all the equipment and all of the other stuff. If you wore a black shirt, you were on the floor, and if you wore a white shirt, you were cooking the damn stuff.
Mm-hmm. I've been a black shirt before. I used to bar back. So they do like they service the bar stations. So like running bags of ice and napkins and cups and that kind of shit. That's hard work.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But, yeah, we did the biggest event that we ever did.
Bye, bye.
The biggest event we ever did was we did the suites at Notre Dame for the football game. And so it was a lot of very, very obnoxious rich people being very upset that I had to, literally go up 4 flights of stairs to find a bag of ice.
That be them fighting Irish for you. Fighting Irish.
I don't think that an Irishman has set foot in that building in 100 years.
That's not fighting Irishmen either.
I mean, there were plenty of people who were, casual Irish after they had some beers.
I'm at my second
Irish
home
on St. Patrick's Day. But yeah, I do have to extend my commiserations to you, Larry. You're a Cubs fan.
I am not a Cubs fan.
Then why
I'm a
the top?
poser, is what I am.
Oh, but
I
you
got
play
this
one on
for
TV.
Christmas. Yeah, I play one on TV. No, I got this as a
I just play a
Christmas
Cubs
gift.
fan.
But so my father-in-law's lady friend Dana, she got Christmas gifts for my husband and I, and she got us all a bunch of clothes, and they're all her favorite sports teams.
There's nothing wrong with being a Cubs fan. Somebody's got to support the bottom.
I know. It's like my future father-in-law. He's a Lions fan, a Detroit Lions fan.
Well, he's
I was told when I grow up I can be anything as long as I'm not a Red Sox fan.
Who did the Lions just beat? That was like, oh my God, they beat who?
Oh, I know. Green Bay. I think they.
No, they did not beat Green Bay. They haven't beat Green Bay in 10 years.
I'll look it up.
Go Padres. Anyway.
No, somebody just last week.
I did have.
I know.
Was it the Tampa Bay?
It was the Cardinals.
Oh yes. That's right.
Oh, and they beat the Vikings.
Oh, they did. Oh, I missed
So they beat
that.
the Vikings, and then they lost to the Broncos. Then they beat the Lions, and then they lost to the Falcons.
I think they played Green Bay one more time this year.
So they played the Packers on the 9th.
Yeah, I think they have one more game against them. Well, they'll lose, but
Here's the joke in Detroit. If you leave your car in downtown Detroit and you've got a Lions ticket in the glove compartment, your car will get broken into and you'll find that you've come back to 2 Lions tickets in your glove compartment.
I have been to exactly 1 baseball game, a home game here, and I don't even know what the name of our team is.
Are you comfortable sharing which city you're in?
Indianapolis. Oh.
Phoebe, are you an American football fan? You know an awful lot.
You said Indianapolis and went.
If you ever get you ever get to this side of the pond, I will take you to a Packers game at Lambeau Field. There's nothing like it.
Oh shit!
Because
We're the
the other thing
we're
is that I'm probably going to be at the Lions game at Ford Field on the 9th because my future father-in-law is determined to take me to a Lions game, and I was like, oh god, you're going to take me to a Lions game.
Is that the one against Packers?
Yeah,
really?
It is.
Oh, good God. We're going to have lots of fun with that.
It's a Ford Field.
I'll send you some crying towels.
Here's the thing, though. I'm just going to enjoy Ford Field. I'm just going to enjoy the game at Ford Field. I'm just going to take in the stadium and go, oh, yeah, there's a game going on. Oh, the team I'm supposed to be supporting is getting absolutely kicked into next week.
Have you been to an American football game live?
I have not been to an American football game live.
Oh, boy.
Been to NHL game. Been to an NHL game.
I've been to a couple hockey games.
I found it very uncomfortable as a British person when everyone stood up and the US national anthem played. That made me slightly uncomfortable, that level of nationalism.
Oh, yeah. That's that. They do that for every sports event here.
I know, it's really weird. Who just dropped out?
Canopy by the dawn's early light.
But I've just remembered.
I thought you were
we're
going
the
to sleep,
Indians
so I
because
kicked you
we're
out.
Indiana. I'm really stupid.
What I would like to do
The
is
Indians is the baseball team. And Redskins is the football team.
Nice, Ox.
I thought it was just the Washington football team now.
See, they made a mistake. They should have kept the name Redskins, but changed the logo from a Native American head to like 3 of those little red potatoes.
No, they should have changed it from a Native American to a gammon.
Oh, what's a gammon? I don't know that.
Do people not know what a gammon is?
No.
Is that a very British thing?
Ham. Pig.
So
Right.
who here knows what gammon is?
Gammon is ham.
So a gammon is a bigoted,
Character.
white, slightly rotund male who has spent too long in the sun, so is white on the inside, but is that sunburnt red on the outside.
Okay, I was about to say I thought a gammon was the British word for ham.
I was just gonna say it's a character in World of Warcraft. He's the guy that gets murdered, like when you first become an orc.
I'd like to see the three little potatoes. I think that would be cute.
His name's Gammon.
And when he falls down on his face, do you play a game on his back? Gammon?
No, he gets mad at you and chases
Backgammon?
you,
Yeah.
and he's one of the few NPCs you can kill. So he's like, huh, and he chases you, and you should like just kite him around, and he'd be like trying to punch you, and people just kite him around, and then eventually they kill him.
Thank you, Larry.
Oh.
Somebody got it.
Here, I'm
Sorry, I
just
was
here
doing
to
3 things. I missed it.
understand puns.
I'm just gonna say that I saw the Cubs play once, and they were coming to my town, San Diego, and they're playing the Padres, and they smashed the Padres into bits. And I said, "Oh, the Cubs ain't that bad." But the Padres, I don't know, they were having a bad time for some reason. And they were just like, "Yeah, here you go, Cubs, walk on me."
Yeah, no, Ox, that's totally cool. I'm talking about for next year. I'm asking a year ahead.
Yeah.
I thought you were just asking 3 days
I like
ahead.
to.
What are you talking about? We're already past Christmas.
But next year is 3 days away.
No,
Yeah.
for next year, for next Christmas.
Last Christmas, I gave you my heart, and the very next day, you gave it away.
This year, to save me from tears, I'll give it
You
to
get people starting to sing
someone
Christmas songs, I will
special.
boot all of you. I will boot everybody singing Christmas songs.
I mean, well,
we moved on.
Last Christmas, I gave you my heart, and the very next... Sorry, I'm trying to find the last one. I'll mute myself. Sorry.
I thought about it, but no.
I like to sing. I'm sorry.
We had a thing for I go to a support group for trans people, and they had a thing where they were talking about what's your favorite Christmas song, and I come from retail, So I have a great simmering hatred for Christmas music of pretty much all types.
So I love Christmas music, but the Christmas music I like is usually not the retail music. It's not like "Have a holly jolly Christmas." You know, that's not usually my favorite. I really like the classic carols and "What Child Is
Yeah.
This" and "Hark the Herald Angels Sing" and stuff like that. And they're just beautiful songs,
I
whether
like,
or not you agree with it or not.
Well, the bottom
I like
line
Nelly
is
Felipe.
yeah, the bottom line is that all of us have songs that we heard as children. We have memories attached to those songs, whether it's a Christian based song or not. There's like I think Hallelujah is beautiful depending on who sings it, and there's some people that sing it that almost bring me to tears.
Jeff Buckley.
But it's a beautiful fucking song.
Which Hallelujah? Leonard Cohen's
Jeff
or
Buckley version.
Yes, that's wrong. Jeff Buckley.
I'm going to say something that is
Yeah,
potentially
exactly.
sexist here. The song Hallelujah, in my opinion, can only be done justice by a man singing it.
I think Hallelujah is a misunderstood song, and I think it's about cheating. And everybody's making it all about,
Which Hallelujah are you talking about? There's two of them.
If we're talking about Rufus
Leonard
Wainwright's Hallelujah,
Cohen.
that is definitely
Leonard
that is
Cohen?
definitely a sad. Oh, that is a sad text jam.
You think it's about cheating? I don't know if it's about cheating.
No, I was gonna say I thought we were talking about a completely different song because I was gonna start telling the story about how I was in a production of Handel's Messiah, and we did the Hallelujah chorus.
Yeah.
Hallelujah,
Which was
hallelujah,
like
hallelujah.
the worst experience performing of my entire life.
My favorite cover of
No, not that. I'm gonna look it
Cohen's
up.
Hallelujah is by Katie Lang. No, not Katie Lang. What's Canadian one?
Back.
Katie Lane?
What?
Can I do karaoke, please? Share screen.
Huh?
And do karaoke.
Hold on.
Hallelujah. I've got
What
some.
are you trying to share?
Who wants to sing Hallelujah in karaoke?
Please.
No, you'll get the scream.
No,
You're gonna get
It should be
demonetized.
Don't do that.
Okay. Cheers.
Don't do that.
No.
It's karaoke. It's okay.
Oh.
It's karaoke.
No, you might have
also on
to mute him.
Twitch.
No.
Yeah,
You
Twitch
might have to mute him.
So sorry, I'll stop.
Oh,
Yeah,
I kicked the share screen and it kicked him.
Twitch is
Sorry, dude,
liberal
come
if
back.
you go through them to do karaoke, but if you
Yeah,
go outside of them to do karaoke, then they're not. It's weird.
But-
They had Twitch
But we're on
Sings for a while.
YouTube also.
Yeah, YouTube on the other hand allows it, depending. Most of the songs are allowed.
So the thing is, though, that YouTube doesn't think. The problem with the YouTube algorithm is it doesn't understand that fair use applies to all forms of media. It only thinks fair use applies to motion pictures, whereas it actually applies to sound recordings as well.
Yeah.
If you're engaging in critique, parody, education, or the other one, or commentary of a sound recording, that's covered as well by the DMCA. It's also covered by the Copyright Designs Patents Act and the Intellectual Property Act, which is fair dealing in the UK. And the problem with the YouTube algorithm is it doesn't understand that.
Yeah.
A number of people
so we have
over it.
Fair use protects you a little bit here, but like it doesn't stop them from actually like screwing your entire life while you get to the point where you have your hearing, where you give your say about how it's fair use. So like they can still take away your monetization, and like if you get enough DMCA strikes and you can't get them processed quickly enough, your channel just goes away regardless, and you can't have it back once it's been deleted. So lots of people.
That isn't fair. If you got complaints going and mechanism to have hearings on those, they should be allowed to get rid of you completely so that you can no longer take care of the complaints. That's just so inappropriate.
So the famous the fair use case law case from recent times is Aquila Hughes versus Carl Benjamin. And for those of you who know the two people I'm talking about, you understand that it's very charged politically. So what Carl Benjamin did was he put up a 90-second edited version of a 15-minute video that Aquila Hughes had done, and Aquila Hughes said, "Well, you're infringing my copyright," and engaged in this what were deemed to be frivolous DMCA takedown notices because it was quite clearly fair dealing and fair use what he was engaged in. And she was stupid enough to take it all the way to court, and then was stupid enough to appeal it, and then was stupid enough to petition the Supreme Court, who then told her to sod off. They refused certiorari on it. But what it basically said was that the threshold to qualify for fair use in America is very, very, very low if it is in certain circumstances. So if it's politically based, you only really need to say, I disagree with you, and that's about it. And in some cases, you don't even need to say anything. You just need to edit it in a certain way to be covered by fair use and fair dealing, because it's a First Amendment free speech.
Yeah.
And the government is not going to start wading into infringing political speech in America. Unless you're Joe McCarthy.
It's a long time ago.
Somebody heard me.
I'm from Wisconsin. He was our senator.
Yes, yes, he was.
I went up to Appleton, Wisconsin, and I pissed on his grave because I hated him so much.
Was he responsible for the lavender scare as well as the red scare?
I don't know. I think they intertwined a lot.
Yeah. Well, if it makes you feel any better, we had Mike Pence. And we had him for like 8 years before any of y'all had him.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. Wasn't Mike Pence fairly incompetent as the governor of Indiana? Wasn't he fairly shit?
We gave you Reagan.
Yes, he was.
Ronald Reagan's.
We gave the world Margaret Thatcher.
Driving man.
Oh, yeah. It's because of him that we have the stupid Citizens United thing.
Yep.
Say what? Start again.
Okay, so because of
I know
Reagan,
what Citizens United is.
Oh, okay. Because of Reagan, we have Citizens United.
Unlimited money in politics is okay.
It's because of Reagan we don't have a state funded mental health organization too.
Because of Ronald Reagan, we have heavily weakened unions and an overall global belief that if the government is here to help you, run away.
And also, the reason that the USA still uses the current system of weights and measures that it does is because of Ronald Reagan, because he abolished the United States Metrication Board.
That's right. I can remember the highway signs going up that said mileage and kilometers. I was just thrilled to death.
Yep.
I wrote a paper in high school about the metric system, so I did my little research in the library and crap like that. The metric system was first introduced into the American Congress in like the late 1700s.
I know. Britain began metric
and it was set back
1800s
because it was blasphemous
and also too French.
What
makes too much sense? That's terrible.
Blasphemous and too French.
I remember when I was in school and we were learning measurements and stuff like that. We learned in like elementary school, you only learned the imperial system or whatever it is, the stupid one with cups and feet and all that kind of stuff. But when I got to high school, my chemistry teacher was like, "Fuck that shit," and only did everything in metric because it's impossible to do anything in chemistry with those other measurements.
Yeah, they're just not accurate enough.
Yeah.
When I was in manufacturing, metric all the way, man. Metric makes
Now,
sense.
here's a question for you. Which president established the Environmental Protection Agency and signed Title IX into law?
Teddy Roosevelt?
Oh, it was not introduced by Richard Nixon's administration. It was introduced by Senator Gaylord Nelson of Wisconsin.
I know, but he signed them into law.
Yes,
he
he did.
vetoed them. He
Yes, he
signed them
did.
both into law. And
Nixon was actually quite a moderate Republican compared
he was
to
when you actually dig below the corruption, Richard Nixon was actually not a bad president when you actually dig below the corruption. He
Yeah.
engaged with China,
Mm-hmm.
which was the sensible thing to do. He engaged with the Soviet Union, which was a
Yep.
sensible thing to do. He
Mhm.
continued the space program, which was a very sensible thing to do.
Yep.
He furthered women's rights through Title IX. He established the Environmental Protection Agency and signed the Global Test Ban Treaty.
Phoebe, I voted for him
Once or twice.
I didn't.
once. That was the last time I ever voted for a Republican.
And was that 68 or 72?
72. It was my first time to ever vote.
But here's the thing, though.
Do you wanna know the first
could
time I
have
ever
liberal
voted?
Republicans.
Pardon?
In the 70s, you had liberal Republicans.
Oh, yeah, absolutely you did.
The first time I ever voted was this last election cycle.
What?
And I voted. And I. What?
Are you just
Have you
21?
I'm 26.
Oh, my God.
So you didn't
Yeah.
vote. So you didn't vote in.
These are 26.
So you didn't vote in Clinton versus Trump.
I did not, and I don't want to get yelled at about it. Look, I have regrets. Okay, I've done a lot of things in my life that I'm not proud of.
I voted
made
for
mistakes in my
G.W.
head.
Bush. I voted for G.W. The first president I ever got to vote for was him. So I've
Look,
made
To
mistakes.
quote
I
my
know.
father, when it came to George
Yeah.
W. Bush,
I just can't, Holy. I just can't. I can't. No, I'm just kidding. Come on.
to quote my father, when it comes
I'm
to George
sorry.
W. Bush,
Uh-huh.
how the hell did a nation that is supposed to be the last superpower on Earth elect that complete and utter
Which one?
moron
I'll
to
tell
run
you
the
how.
world?
Which
I'll
moron?
tell you how.
Which
So
W.
moron?
Bush.
Americans don't read, and Americans don't watch the news.
I
Americans
do.
go, that's the guy that I'd like to have a beer with the most. And that's why they voted for him.
Some
Yep.
people felt that way about
was- he
Obama,
was-
actually.
He was
Yeah.
affable and personable, and he put off this good old boy charming air, and that was more important to people than what he was actually about.
But the problem
And that's
was
pretty much
Al
the story of
Gore
what
in
happened with Trump.
Al Gore in
Gore is
2000,
not well liked.
though.
Mhm.
Al Gore in 2000 didn't do himself any favors, and the way you can tell he
Yeah.
didn't do himself any favors, you
Yeah.
just need to watch the third debate, and you have
Yeah.
to look at how aggressive Al Gore is. Al Gore is wearing some shoes which have intentionally higher heels, so he's taller than George Bush. He's got an intentionally sharper suit on, and he's been told to get in George Bush's face, and it is really,
Mhm.
really uncomfortable viewing. Because he is really aggressive.
Mhm.
I remember my mother watching it.
But
My mother,
Al
and my
Gore
mother said,
losing, is
No.
why.
and my mother said during the third debate, "Is Al Gore going to jump across the room and punch him?" Because that's what it was like. And I watched it back and I could see what she was saying.
known what was coming.
Al Gore wasn't
Yeah,
particularly
but Al Gore
liked by
losing
young
is
folk.
why it's 60 degrees here right now.
Al Gore had this. So you have to remember, Al Gore was tied to Chipper, and remember when that Sister whatever song came out, and it was like, "We ain't gonna take it," and she
Mhm.
made a tirade and how like this is gonna cause anarchy and all this stuff. Chipper had the attention of people that are more liberal minded and stuff going, this person's a censoring, overstretching big government person.
Yeah.
And he was married to that, right? So like I don't know.
Yep. Tipper Gore started the entire what I see as today as the current conservative movement. I blame her for it. She was brought into the Congress these absolutely fanatical and completely unrealistic ideas of music and the power of music in young people, and it's going to kill everybody, and horrible lyrics, and and Frank Zappa had to go up and tell her she's full of shit. And
Bob Dylan, I even remember Bob
absolute
Dylan saying, "Ignore this woman."
And I, as far as I'm concerned, what she did helped to establish organizations on the conservative side, like Focus on Family, and
And a
the
million
Family
moms.
Research Council,
Mm.
and Million Moms, and
Yep, a
those
lot
are
of aggressive movements. Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Because the other thing to remember is, in the 2000 election campaign, who was the most popular person in the Democratic Party?
In what year?
In the year 2000, who was the most popular person in the Democratic Party?
I was 6 years old. I have no idea.
In 2000? Not Al Gore. Nobody was really too thrilled with him.
Well, no, that's before
The
John
most
Kerry.
The most popular person in the Democratic Party that should have been campaigning every day with him was Bill Clinton.
That's
Bill
wacky.
Clinton, when he left office, had an approval rating at 70%.
Oh, yeah.
That's really.
Yep. And Hillary Clinton had approval ratings at 85%. When she got elected to the US Senate, she won by 11 points.
Mm-hmm.
In the state of New York. She won what was a Republican seat by 11 points. She was the second most popular person in the Democratic Party at the time of the election. But when the election finished, she was more popular than her husband. So the Clintons.
She's very, very unpopular here.
But this is the thing, though. The only reason I'm going to ask you a question: why do you dislike her? If you dislike her, why is she unpopular?
I'm sorry. You just roboted out. I didn't hear you. Hold on.
Why is Hillary Clinton unpopular? What specifically?
People perceive her. People perceive her to be hawkish and insincere.
Over what?
Oh, so like one of the things that happened during the Trump campaign, especially, was there were a lot of videos released of her having "quote unquote" behind closed doors meetings with people, where she basically threw all of her campaign promises in the garbage. And after people saw those videos, they were like, "Oh, you're a lying bitch." At least, in the circles that I walk with over here. Because she had this one where she was talking to like corporate donors about climate change and about the Green New Deal and about how, we're not actually going to make you switch to green energy, so don't worry, and stuff like that. And people really, really didn't like that.
I'm going to say something very controversial. Barack Obama is the better president for today than he was in 2008. In today's America.
I agree that we need his skill and capability at this point. Yes, I agree.
I personally think that America would be in a better position if Obama was president today and Clinton had been president in 2008, had won in 2008.
So the main problem that I have with modern Democrats is that modern Democrats don't actually stand for any of the things that they say that they stand for. Like one of the reasons that people are really upset with Joe Biden right now is because he just does the exact same kind of stuff that Trump did, but quieter, and with a better public image. So like he continued his programs, for example, like the immigration crisis we're having on the southern border crisis. He continued putting forth the exact same kind of policies that Trump was doing, but quieter. And with less media.
What administration brought the Title IX discussions to court, and who brought the gay marriage issue, the Marriage Equality Act to court? It certainly wasn't the Republicans now, was it?
That was Obama.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah. But my thing is
that so to even entertain for a moment that the parties are the same is lunacy.
No, I don't think
there's only one party.
They're
definitely not the same.
Kill everybody on this panel.
No, I don't think that they're equivalent at all. And given the options, I will probably always vote blue because they at least act like they give a shit. But they tend to pick one big cause to put on the poster, and then the rest of the shit they do is usually either moderate or even right leaning.
all politics has been like that. Every campaign I have known has been like that. That's just how the campaigns in politics works. When there's one star issue and everybody argues over that, completely ignoring the things that really matter that are going on around us. Because nobody seems to be able to think past one issue at a time. They said Congress can't take care of this because they're dealing with this. Wait a minute, there's 435 people in that house. You got to put all 435 on one issue? You guys need the management.
I agree to a point with Phoebe, because I think that if we would have had Trump for 4 years and then Obama came in, that other people that are on his side would have, on Trump's side, at that point would have now be like, okay, maybe we need to work together better. This isn't working out. Because it's almost like Trump had to like really f a lot of shit up for everybody to go, oh, wait. Because now there's more of the people in the GOP going, oh, I'll work with the Democrats now. Because they're realizing that shit is fucking jack.
And the other thing that I see as someone from the outside,
I think from that point, Obama would have been better after.
I also think that after the summer of 2020 and the racial issues that engulfed America, I think that Obama would have been far better at being the lead that America needs on those issues.
Oh, Biden's lost. He's in a whole different plane.
Joe Biden he's away with the fairies on this issue. But getting back to what Jenny was saying, it's called marquee politics, and every presidential election has been marquee politics since 1789. That's the way that it goes. Push you and me now, Larry. Okay, welcome to season 3 of Transition Stories. I'm gonna be interviewing, and here is my guest today, Larry. Say hello, Larry.
Hi, everybody.
So yeah, 29th and 30th. Pick a day, pick a time, and I'll have you on the show.
Sure. So
I got a wee, okay?
Enjoy.
When is the hours when you are normally airing?
So I like to air in the evenings on a Sunday.
Okay.
And I'm normally free throughout the whole day on a Saturday.
Okay.
Please bear in mind, I'm on Western European time.
Okay, that's what that's the question I had was what time of day in American hours does that make that?
So take 5 off anything I say.
Oh, okay.
So if you're in Indianapolis, you're still Eastern Standard Time because you haven't hit Indiana City yet. No, not Indiana City. Michigan City yet, which is the last time zone in Central Time. And I learned that because I was rudely told that on an Amtrak train from Chicago to Detroit.
Oh, okay. I've always wanted to do that. You can take the Amtrak from Chicago all the way to San Francisco or San Diego, one of those cities.
So you can go. You can take the Amtrak all the way from Boston to San Francisco via Chicago.
That's one of those. If I ever had 3 weeks and just tons of money, I would love to do that.
So the first time that I actually went out to America exclusively to see my now fiance, I flew into Chicago and then took the Wolverine train from Chicago to Detroit because I'm so enamored with trains. Yeah. I then decided that, well, I'm only going to get one chance in life to do this. Let's do it. And flying into Chicago was dirt cheap compared to flying into Detroit because the Detroit municipality, the Detroit City Council, and the municipal airport fees are significantly higher than the municipal airport fees for international travel into Chicago, which is just crazy if you ask me.
I live like 20 minutes from a huge hub for passenger trains because there's one in downtown Indianapolis. And I've never been on a train in my entire life. That's one of those living in men.
It's really sad.
I don't go anywhere. I'm a homebody.
Anyway, the stream is now yours because I need to go and follow Jenny.
No, I can't fill dead air by myself.
Wait, we're supposed to be taking over? What's happening?
I don't. So everybody else left.
Phoebe, are you still there?
God. Oh, thank God, we're not alone.
I think we're alone now.
No, we're not alone. We don't need them.
All by myself.
One is the
God.
loneliest number.
All by
Those are copyright strikes. Don't do that.
Oh, right. We're going to get copyright struck. I once got a copyright claim on my own art when I did art for rayjohn.com.
Well, that's
Oh, yeah?
funny.
And that was really frustrating. I used to do pixel art. And so I did a bunch of pixel art and I made like mugs and stuff that no one bought. But I got copyright claimed on my own art. It was a thing.
I've heard
Yeah.
that happening to other people with videos and stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, I had to like take screenshots of the program of the program window where I make my pixel art and send it in to prove to them that I was the one that made it. It was great. Oh god. Ow. All my joints are currently full of cement.
Dude, I have a 55-pound dog who went flying in one direction and it pulled my shoulder.
Oh
And
shit.
like 2 months later, I'm like still really hurting. So I can't reach back. Like if you're like, you're under arrest, and you put my arm back, I'm like, ah!
Yeah.
I can't flap like a bird or like an angry bird anymore.
Yeah.
Like all sorts of things. I when I go to the gym, it's like at like a third of the weight. Like I can't. I'm like, this is agony.
Yeah.
So I go to my doctor. And I'm like, dude, I think I tore my rotator cuff or something. Like, what's up? And they're like, And right now there's sort of a rationing of medicine, and like like everything's super expensive, and they're just like, you might need an MRI, but the shoulders are very complex and you could have torn a lot of things. We're gonna like wait and see. And like they're like, see if you can wait a couple months and then talk to your doctor. And like 2 months later, I'm like, I'm in agony still. So I don't know.
I've had a horrible bad right shoulder for God, it's got to be 20, 30 years by now.
Oh, Mage Grey Wolf in the chat asked, how did I get a copyright strike on Rayjon? So if you they have a report system like a lot of places do. And so any of your content can get reported for, abusive content or spam or stuff like that. But you can get reported if they believe that your content has been stolen from another artist. And so my account got suspended and I couldn't access my store page. And I got a series of emails saying that I had gotten a copyright claim and that I had to prove that I didn't steal the art or that I was going to have my account permanently rescinded. And so it was like a whole thing. But it got resolved. I don't use Rayjon anymore. I haven't used it in ages because I never sold anything on there anyway. But I think it's gone now. But yeah.
So what day works better for you, a Saturday or a Sunday?
Saturday's fine. I'm unemployed right now, really, though, so I don't have like a schedule.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll pencil you in for the 29th.
Sweet. So is there a specific or you said it was going to be about transmisandry, right?
No. This is transition stories. This is
transition stories. Okay. No, that was peace. Okay. Transition stories. But I'm so boring.
Phoebe will bring it out in you. She's very, very good.
Oh, okay.
It's like today I had an ordained minister talking about how homosexuality is fine in the Bible and that Joseph is a trans man in the Bible.
That's okay.
Oh, by the way, I've been talking with Kaylee.
Yeah.
And she already follows Junia, but they've never spoken. And so I'm going to hook them up, do an intro so they can start talking to each other. I think you should do a big fat show with both of them.
Who is Junia? I've seen this person, but
Junia,
I don't know.
She was the minister up in Canada who came out in the live stream on a sermon in her church and was fired.
Oh.
Is this the person that was on the 24-hour streams?
No. No,
could you hook me up with this person? Because I want that person on my show.
Okay.
I want that person on my show.
Geez, like I feel like you have like a little glass case you're just filling up. It's like hoarders.
Well, absolutely. I've got to get 12 people in to fill out a series.
Okay.
So 12 people fill out a series. I've got one person for the next series. And if I can get Larry on there, that would be good, because then it would be,
You'll like Junia. She's originally from North Carolina and got married, had a couple kids, and they moved up to Canada for her work. She's a Baptist minister.
Yeah. Well,
And
if you want me
it's got
sorry,
2 years on them, and she came out, to her wife and stuff, and they got divorced, and she was absolutely scared to death of her parents because they're, these traditional North Carolinians, and she finally went down to them this past early winter, and they were accepting. And so she's, really high on that, and she's just a really great person. She never really talks to me either, but I know that we send a lot of DMs and stuff back and forth. But I wouldn't call us friends, but we're both certainly aware of each other.
Hey, Purple, how you feeling? You all right? We want to know. Inquiring minds.
or in the UK,
Larry's
say
like
Rosie Parkers.
Did you guys notice that Larry said I'm boring after the 3 of you just carried on like a fucking huge like political whatever conversation about shit I have no clue about for like 20 some odd minutes. So good job, Larry. Doing a really bad job being boring, bro. Like you need to work on it.
Okay.
You're so boring. You're so boring. This British
also,
woman has invited you onto a talk show to focus on just you.
Oh yeah, that's terrifying. No, I can bring Justin on too if you want, because apparently to the community, Justin is a fucking unicorn. So
I want
There
that,
you go.
but I want that for a different project. I want the 2 of you together on the same show but that's going to be for a different project.
Larry,
Hey, Larry, maybe you and I should have Phoebe interview us, and we can do like a couple stream with the 2 unicorns in the community.
that would be awesome.
I have
No,
one too.
I'm serious. I'm serious.
I call her an anomaly, but it's the same thing.
That
Larry,
would be like the weirdest double date I could possibly imagine.
So I'm serious here. My side project is I want to do a series, so that's 12 episodes. I want to do a season that's 12 episodes where I interview couples, where at least one of the members is not a cis person, and I just want it to be so that you don't have to be this cis normative person to be in a happy relationship.
Yeah. I like that. I think that that's really great to put that out there, because I think that the negative aspects of transition tend to get focused on a lot. And a lot of trans people have like self-esteem issues of like, am I ever going to be in a happy relationship? Is being trans too much baggage in and of itself for me to be in a healthy relationship? And I think that it's really good to put it out there that yes, you can be in a positive, happy relationship. We've been together for 12 fucking years.
Phoebe, that's actually a good idea. Why don't you do 2 shows? The transition stories as a staple, but then also develop a trans couples show, or maybe not even trans, maybe LGBT couples.
So I want to start off with a season of trans couples, and once I get a bit bigger, then I'm probably going to expand into wider LGBT stuff. But my core at the moment is trans people at the moment. That's my core. It's like my nuclear reactor.
I think it sounds like a good time.
Nuclear? Nuclear?
My nuclear reactor. My Chernobyl.
Nuclear.
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 I may be, I'm like 30% redneck by blood, but I've never said nuclear.
No, because that's really not proper, right?
There's the disdain that we're, looking at.
There you go. Nuclear reactor. It's all glass. Yeah.
There you go.
That one's not the redneck's fault. That's just lazy English. I've heard people from educated people say nuclear. What? How do they say it again? What is it? Yeah, I say nuclear, so I I don't know how do you pronounce it the wrong way.
Nuclear is the correct way, I think.
Nuclear.
Nuclear.
Yeah.
That's a Simpsons joke.
So yeah,
Oh,
I'm putting you in my diary for the 29th of January, and I will have you on at 5 o'clock my time, because then I won't clash with student Dr. Ben, because he keeps shouting at me for clashing with him, which is 10 o'clock your time.
Okay, I can do that.
It is really hard to like make way for everybody. Like it's much as like it's like I'm like, oh, I love you, I love you, I love you. It's like it's so hard right now. There's so much traffic on the YouTubes, but it is really cool if we can, because then we can all participate easier and promote each other.
Yeah.
So, do you mind changing your surname to King, please, Larry?
Oh,
King Larry. What?
No, Larry King.
Oh, Larry King. Oh.
No, don't. I'm glad he's dead. Come on.
Well, now you need to wear suspenders and have an old-fashioned microphone.
Look, I'm gonna have to wear suspenders because I'm getting to a certain size. I'm gonna have to start wearing clown pants.
I like suspenders. I think suspenders are sexy. They give you something to grab onto. Like this is good.
Me and my girlfriend were just talking about me buying some of those.
They are. I don't know why. I can't explain it. I also think waistcoats can be sexy if done right. Waistcoats, like the Irish waistcoat.
Yeah.
Well, how about cummerbund?
I thought about
suspenders with a open dress vest.
Oh yeah, that would be good.
Or
how about trying to put on like real clothes?
But how about dressing up in a cummerbund in a codpiece all at once?
Oh, I don't like cummerbunds. No.
Because what?
Somebody asked me recently why I don't use a packer even though I'm trans. And I feel like wearing a codpiece would be like the same flavor of weird. But it's like, I don't want people to be staring at my crotch. And so using something that is sole intention is to have people stare at your crotch is just, it's not for me.
I think where I'm at right now with it, Larry, is I'm just going to wait until I get one put on. And then I can be like, yep, it's real.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm not worried
I think
about it right now.
I love it when boys are around and they get nervous because you have some cleavage showing. I think that's such a.
I'm like borderline asexual. So the idea of people looking at me in a sexual way makes me feel like, when you feel.
No.
Not in that context.
No,
because...
absolutely not. I'm a hypersexual lunatic at times in my life.
I actually have a question about these terms. So I have a question. So
Sure.
Asexual, and then there's gray sexual.
Yeah.
And demisexual.
Right, and demisexual. Now, I think I lean towards demisexual because I need an emotional connection. Like, I can't just be like, what a man, what a woman, or whatever, and be like, yeah, that person's hot. I'm going to go, sleep with that person. That I can't do that sort of thing. Like, I need some sort of connection, right? So, when you're gray sexual or asexual, or some people say they're demisexual, but they think they lean towards asexual, kind of. Like, it's, real extreme. But whenever you're those things, what's the difference between the gray sexual and asexual? I'm confused by that.
So, for me, I use that term as a useful shorthand because I don't want to explain what the actual deal is.
Oh,
so
yeah, gotcha.
I wouldn't be the best person to answer that question. I use that term because I have PTSD and I have touch aversion.
Gotcha.
And so for me, I don't want to be interacted with in a sexual way because of trauma. So it's not necessarily an identity thing. It's a mental and emotional wellness thing.
Yeah, it's the same reason why I don't like to be grabbed by the neck or the shoulders. Don't touch me. I'll probably clock you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah. I need I honestly need to download one of those comprehensive charts that's got all the flags on it because I operate a shop that sells Pride merch and even I don't know what all the different flags are.
Oh yeah, it's hard to keep up.
I know because one of my obsessions in life is flags. So I know every I know nearly every flag going. And I have this thing in my life where when I go to a new city or a new country or a new state in America, I have to buy the state flag and the city flag or the county flag if they have one. So everywhere that I go, one of the places that I'll try to find is somebody to sell me a flag. But
Do you
some
have
Americans,
an Indiana state flag?
no, I do not, because I have not actually been to Indiana itself and stopped. I've been through Indiana twice.
Well, that counts.
I don't know where I would even buy an Indiana state flag.
From the
But the
Indiana
thing-
State Flag Star.
Truck
Yeah,
stop
There you go.
or rest area right inside the line. That's where you'll find it at.
But some of the state flags in America are just a bit shit.
I like my state
Genuinely.
flag.
I think ours
And
isn't
which
too bad.
state
So
would
the
that be?
Indiana's
California, we got the grizzly bear that we murdered. We don't have that grizzly bear anymore in California, but he's sure on our flag.
Yeah, but it doesn't need to say California Republic. You could just get rid of that, and then it'd be a better flag.
Yeah. The Indiana
You don't like
state
the
flag
Republic? It makes you
is,
sad?
I think a lot of state flags have just too much on them. You know, like
Well,
the
so-
state flag's got a miner, a sailor, a farmer, and you know, every weird little thing that you can imagine that happens in the state, they have some kind of symbol on the flag for it, and it just gets too busy.
Here, I'll show you mine.
I think ours is not. I think ours is decent looking. So the Indiana state flag is fairly simple. It's just a royal blue background, and then there's a golden torch, and then there's like a halo around the torch. It's not bad.
I always confused the Arizona state flag with Hanoi. Yeah, that's New Mexico.
That's the New Mexico flag, yeah. Which I think is pretty
That
cool.
is
It's like-
interesting.
I like the New Mexico flag.
It
New Mexico
actually
flag
has
comes up really
it
high
actually
on my
has-
list of great flags of America.
Yeah, it actually
Like,
has like a lot of meaning behind it. I can't remember.
Do you ever see like those the little flowers that are on prickly pear plants? It looks like one of those little flowers.
Prickly pears. Well, how do you eat them if they're prickly?
Okay,
You
this is
cut
what
the
it's-
prickles off. You don't really want to eat them because they don't taste that
This-
good, but like people do eat them.
This is why I think it's cool. That's
Did you know that the
the
prickly pear grows wild in Wisconsin?
I would not have figured.
But yeah, if Beck is what is that? What the hell is that? This is by
Yeah.
far away the worst
Yeah.
state
Bring
flag,
up the-
the worst flag in
Like
America.
clip art.
Yep.
Clip
Show,
art, right?
show,
You're
show
right- you're
Phoebe
right
the
about that.
Indiana state flag. It's good.
They've
I
been
promise.
talking about changing it for like 20 years, and they've had some, artists enter some concept contests and stuff like this, but they never get around to actually doing it. It's a horrible flag. That's where I grew
So
up.
as you guys see, since Jenny can't see the side chat, I'll read this real quick. The New Mexico state flag, the symbol has sacred meaning to the sea of people. 4 is a sacred number, which symbolizes the circle of life, the 4 directions, the 4 day, the 4 stages of life, the 4 seasons. The circle binds the 4 elements of 4 together. His winning design is the flag that the state uses today. There you go.
Shit.
Yep, pretty interesting shit. I just couldn't remember all that. I like it when it has a meaning and not just like, oh, picture the state and star because the Lone Star State. Like, I don't know what does that even mean. It just doesn't even mean a fucking thing. If it was heritage based, it wouldn't even look like that. It would be a Mexican looking flag. What's that?
Our state bird is the cardinal, which is objectively the prettiest bird that is found in the Midwest.
West Hollywood.
That is dreadful. That flag is dreadful as well. 'Cause it
What
doesn't tell you
flag?
anything.
Why?
Because
It's
it
just
is
a bunch of rainbow colors that says City of West Hollywood, California.
because there are so many
This person
elements
clearly
wrong.
didn't go to graphic design school.
There are so many elements wrong with that. It is just incredible.
It's West Hollywood, though. It fits.
I mean, I understand the
No.
rainbow part of it, but the design, what the fuck does that mean?
I don't know.
Is that like a camera or something and we didn't know it?
I have not a clue.
Well, Well, just so you guys know, I'm going to be ending this in about 20 minutes. So, oh, here you go.
Is it getting to be that time?
Californicate.
We have a star in the corner too. I don't know where the star went on this one. There's no star.
Oh.
The star should be in the left hand corner, facing the bear.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look up ours.
Everybody share your state flags.
I'm gonna. It's good.
Look
You
up
should.
Minnesota. I've never seen the Minnesota state flag, even though I live here.
I'll look it up, Jenny.
But this is one of
How do
my
I
favorites.
share?
This one
share
is one of my
screen?
favorites.
Share screen.
This one here is by far and away one of my favorites.
Hold on.
That one. Is it working? I can't tell.
I've always really liked the Union Jack.
Oh yeah, the Union Jack's great.
That's one of my favorites.
Alaska.
I like Alaska's. Yep.
Oh.
See now, where's Trump? Where's Trump from? Couldn't they have the Big Dipper for
New
him
York.
too?
There we go. See? It's a good flag. That's the only thing good about this godforsaken place.
Yeah, that's good because it's got meaning, it's got identity to it. It's not busy, whereas that's just shit.
There you go, Jenny.
That's just grade one shit.
Oh, you're kidding! That is horrible.
It looks like a plate with a
It's
lot
just
of
the
food
seal.
on
It's
it.
just the state seal on a solid background, which is what
Oh,
about 60%
Like
of
a
the
guy
bar.
on a horse, and then somebody else looks like they have a lawnmower. or
Our
something.
state seal is not that great.
And there's a lake
Our state seal is a buffalo jumping over a log.
and some kind of weird flowers.
There should be the Minnesota flag should be a moose and a deer having sex. You know,
I
it's,
like
it's,
I like Norway's
why?
flag. I like Norway's
Is that how you
flag.
get an elk?
yeah, that's right. You're exactly right.
I also like New
Whereas-
Zealand's flag.
This flag is the best flag in the whole of America.
Maryland.
Which flag?
Scotland's
The one I'm about to
flag.
bring up. In the whole of America,
Oh, okay.
this is the best. This one is the best by a long way.
Okay. All right.
Who is that?
Impress me.
That one.
Which
The
one
fuck
is that?
It's the city of
I
Chicago.
don't know what that is.
Oh yeah, Chicago.
No, I
okay.
disagree.
Okay.
Maryland's
All
flag.
right.
Yeah, the reason this is so much better is because it is instantly identifiable, as was said by Jenny. It's simple, but it also conveys a lot of meaning. And it has what's known as local identifiability to it. So locals corral around this flag quite a lot, which is what makes it so good. Whereas
Nobody
the
corrals
Maryland
around
flag,
the Indiana state flag.
whereas the Maryland flag, whilst it is classed as one of the good flags, it's good because it's bad. It's too busy.
Yeah,
It's
but
too
it's
busy,
really
but
cool.
it's-
Like it looks
Oh,
like
that's
the
Maryland?
original shit from back in the day. Yeah, that's the Maryland state.
It looks
that's
better
why
than
it
the Minnesota
works.
state flag.
Yeah,
That's why it
It's
works.
very
because-
shield-like.
Yeah.
But the reason it's
It's trying
good
to
is
be
because it's
everything.
got that je ne sais quoi about it, as the French say.
Je ne sais quoi.
Je ne sais quoi. I don't
Here's
know
a
what.
cooking.
But yeah, the Maryland state flag shouldn't be a good flag. It only gets there because it's just got that X factor to it.
Mm. I feel like most of the state flags in America were not designed by people who knew anything about graphic design. A
well,
lot
most
of them
no.
of them were
Oh,
designed
no.
in a period where there was no such thing as graphic design.
Sorry.
I wish the Confederate flag wasn't for the Confederates. I actually don't think it's an ugly flag. It just has an
It's
ugly
actually
meaning.
is it the St. George battle flag?
Just an ugly meaning.
Yeah, the bars and stars.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm gonna go all British here. This is my home county, and this is the flag of my home county, and I quite like this flag.
Yeah.
If anyone can identify the bird that isn't me, I'll give you 5 points.
Yeah,
Just
the bird?
California.
Okay, I can't see.
Oh, sorry. Didn't see it down
Hold
in
on.
the corner.
And Twitter was more.
It is a martlet because it's on the browser window.
Yes.
What's that? What is that? What flag is that?
It's a martlet.
That's my home county. That's
Oh.
the county of Sussex. That's my home county.
Tweet,
Oh.
tweet, tweet,
As
tweet.
far as UK goes,
kinda
I
weird.
love the Wales flag.
What
Oh,
the
with the
current
dragon?
Welsh flag?
Well, yeah, okay, that's fine. I can accept that.
Wait, there's a past Welsh flag too.
Yes.
You're probably right, Purple.
What did Purple say? I missed it.
I agree. Said most of the U.S. state flags never consider that it would be on a 30-foot pole and no one would see it up close enough to distinguish the details.
Yeah.
Then why do you want
And
the details?
Oxford, Maryland was also a free state during the war. Yep.
So I live in Indiana, and Indiana has a problem with there are Confederate flags fucking everywhere.
Show the
And at
Welsh
no
flag.
point were we part of the Confederacy.
Previous Welsh flag. And
That's
going back
pretty
even
cool.
Further.
Yeah, that one I've
Previous
seen.
Welsh flag.
It's badass.
I like the Welsh flag. I like it.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Indiana. They have one of the highest populations of KKK, but they were
Oh, yes.
a Yankee state. Like it's
I have
interesting.
personally witnessed a KK rally here.
Yeah, and proven KKK
And again, I'm only
members
26
in government.
years old.
In government in Indiana. Yeah, it's
Oh, well,
crazy.
you can get KKK and Nazi rallies down in
Look, honey, we still have sundown towns.
suburb in Chicago.
We have legit shit sundown
Madness.
towns here.
Madness.
Sunset towns. Oh, they're wonderful. Sunset towns are. Do you still does it still produce the book for non-white travel for non-white people traveling through? Do you still have the book that you?
I have never.
The
had
Green Book? No,
but,
it's not. It's not published anymore.
Yeah, but someone knows what I'm on about. Where it basically says, well, "Here's the places you can stay.
Yeah.
Here are some sunset towns to avoid."
Yeah, I know of it, but I've never seen one in person.
It's
Because people
it's critical.
we had a black president, which means that racism is over forever, and we're not allowed to talk about it anymore.
I wish. I wish it was.
Oh, Larry, you're
Like-
so
Like,
funny.
like this was a thing when we went on our road trip for our honeymoon, and we went on a road trip through the South. And my husband is mixed race, and we found out that there are like whole towns of brown shirt Nazis in the American South.
Oh, I
towns.
believe it.
Absolutely.
madness.
I work with somebody in my counter-extremism work. The head
Oh,
of
gosh.
the counter-extremism organization that I work for used to be the head of the United States National Socialist Movement. He was the founder
Oh,
and head of
that's
the United
great.
States National Socialist Movement. I now work with him in counter-extremism and counter-radicalization.
Well, I used to know
Okay.
Frank Zeidler, who was the last socialist mayor of Milwaukee.
So if you know the name Jeff Scoop, he was the founder of the United States National Socialist Movement. He now works with me, a Jewish trans woman who used to be a fairly not very nice person in my earlier times in my life.
Yeah, well, whatever. I was a dick, so we're even.
I want to ask you a question. How did you realize?
Would
that
you
you
like
were-
me to? Would you like me to tell you a story to make you feel better about that?
No, Phoebe. I want to know how you realized that you were a jerk.
Receiving a death threat helped.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You're receiving the magazine of a revolver on my doorstep. That helped.
Ah, that's
Oh my
wow,
god.
With 6 live bullets and a note saying, each one of these is for your pretty little head.
So a lot of people would take that and double down though, and it wouldn't help, right? So like that's interesting.
But that was all before you transitioned, right?
No.
What?
You haven't seen my interviews, have you?
I haven't. No, I haven't heard you.
They're on your
discuss that.
channel, right? You have that on your
Yeah.
channel?
I mean, I've heard you mention bits and pieces, but I never heard it in terms of a timeline.
I
Oh
wanna-
yeah,
Yes,
this was all post transition.
I really want to encourage people like
how
this
could you-
is the
how could
story
you-
of change. You
How
should
could you?
watch
How
it.
could you balance those two absolutely diametrically opposed concepts.
Because I was getting a lot of sex.
Oh well, okay. That'll.
Oh, wow. Well, that happened.
I mean, that'll do it.
Straight up, I was getting a lot of sex. Didn't care. I was getting a lot of sex. I was getting affirmation as a trans woman because I was getting a lot of sex.
Okay,
from people within the movement.
I really can.
So yeah, I used to be
Well, maybe what I got to
an
do is
ethno-nationalist.
find myself a Nazi.
I was never a Nazi. I was never a Nazi. I was a
So
Zionist.
I grew up in an environment that was very, very white and very, very like waspy, upper middle class kind of white. So like my parents never did stuff like my parents would have never said the N-word, but they did a lot of like dog whistling stuff about, you know, how minorities were inferior. And I didn't really put that all the way together until I was a grown ass adult. So like I was talking to one of my friends and we were busting each other's chops and like being mean to each other like how friends do. And so I said something about how he was acting all back of the bus and shit. This was a black man.
Oh
And
my
it wasn't
God.
until after those words came out of my mouth that I realized, oh, back of the bus, black people, segregation, I'm an asshole. And that was kind of like the glass shattering moment where I realized that the words and the context in which you say them are important.
Very.
And understanding other people's emotions and feelings and how they relate to those words is important. And so like there I like have said, and you know, I've never like been like I've never been aggressive or hostile, but that was the kind of moment where I realized that just because you aren't saying something with vitriol doesn't mean that it's not harmful. And so I had to kind of restructure how I interacted with people after that. But yeah, it was embarrassing. Like it was the most embarrassing thing I think I've ever had happen.
You know,
But he was really, really nice about it and he forgave me.
I was programmed to like I mean I was homeschooled as a kid. I was raised as a young earth creationist. Like, you know, like it's really kind of weird, right? Not allowed like satanic panic was in full swing. Smurfs were bad and satanic apparently. Care Bears were new age. I couldn't allow new age or satanic, one of the two would usually be the thing. So like I grew up really I don't know what's the word, sheltered, I guess. And I had to kind of come out of that. So when I was stretching my little wings out, you know, and I was first time voting and stuff, 18, 19, I had a shirt. I'm embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed to say this. I had a shirt that I'd wear just to antagonize people that said in, you know, in the college days, and it said Republican for life.
Oh, jeez.
I know. I look at it, and I voted for GW and stuff. Like I was kind of almost brainwashed. And I as I learned more information, I started shifting and changing. People can change and really thank goodness. It is possible that, you know, like don't give up hope on everybody. There's people that will change.
When I was in high school, I was in the camera club, and it was a very special club in school. There were only 5 of us in it. We all had master keys to the entire school because we were trustees, and we had the darkroom facility, and that we were scheduled to be in there instead of study hall. We really had a bunch of privileges. But the guy who ran it was a cop and a racist, a John Burchard to be exact, and he corrupted us over our high school years, and we all started to feel that kind of racism in our hearts and start to think that way. And then I met a guy in my senior year who was black, and he was just the nicest guy you'd ever want to meet. And we were in Latin class together, and we just got to know each other and got to be friends. And I realized just by knowing him how absolutely insane everything that this teacher was teaching us was. And it just made me sick to my stomach that I listened to all that crap for 4 years and believed it. and I haven't had an ill thought since. It's just, racism is so ugly.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The guy was a cop. As his other job when he wasn't teaching. God.
Yep.
The kind of people that take advantage of that role they're in. Do that shit. So, we're gonna be wrapping up here. Anybody have any final thoughts?
Sorry, what?
Final thoughts?
I didn't hear you. Oh.
No.
I can't hear B at all.
He said final thoughts.
Oh.
Let me just go around the room.
My thoughts are, damn, man, like I just had Christmas and one of my gifts was a really good gift, but it's the signs of the times. My gift was I had gotten some MRE type stuff and like emergency food and stuff in a bin. And I thought, A, this is a good present actually, and B, it's a sign of the times. And I'm like, holy Moses, 2022, please be better than what we were. Oh no. Anyway, that's my random thought is it's a new year. Hopefully it's better.
So yeah, I'm gonna shill. I'm gonna shill me because that's what my ego says to do. This has been wonderful. I don't normally get to appear on these streams because they're at an awkward time, and I normally have work the next day. But because it's a double bank holiday in the UK, I get to show my face and go, "Oh, hello, people." So please join me on the 2nd and 3rd of January, where I will be interviewing X-Cult Baby and Ring 42 on my show Transition Stories, and join me in January, later in January, where I will be starting season 3, and Larry will be one of the guests. Larry will be one of the guests. And yeah, it's all fairly wonderful what's going on at the moment. So I'd like to thank B for introducing whatever food they are currently consuming to the world. And thank you for hosting the stream, and thank you for inviting me. You regularly invite me, but I don't often get to turn up because it is now 4:30 in the morning here. But it's been a good day. It's been a good stream, and yeah.
My final thoughts would be that, one, I have just realized why the cookies I made earlier didn't turn out the way they were supposed to, because I used self-raising flour instead of not that.
Plain flour.
So never use self-raising flour where plain flour is meant to be used. That's a tip that you can keep. And secondarily, I need a new catalytic converter for my car. So if you'd like to buy a rainbow hat to support the cause, I'm at the Hapless Haberdashery on Etsy, all one word.
What year is
sorry,
your car?
that felt bad. Huh?
What year is
it's
your
a 2012. It's a 2012 Chevy Equinox. Equinox.
And why did they tell you need a catalytic converter?
Because it's stuttering, and we've had to change the oil 18 times since we got it, which was this year.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, every 3 weeks we have to take it to the shop and get an oil change and get a tune-up because it starts shuddering.
Wow.
Well, that sucks.
Do yourself a favor, check with local bones yards and see if you can't find a used one from a same year.
We're going through a local guy, so it brand new. One of these is $1,400, but we're gonna get ours for $700.
Right.
But I need.
That's what I'm saying. Go to a bones yard. You might be able to pick one up for $100 or $200.
Anyway, sorry to shill. That felt bad.
I used to be in the business.
Bad.
Okay.
People shill. You're good.
I shilled before you.
Oh, well, yeah, but you're better than me.
I just told a random story.
Yeah, but I have to be better, or else my ego starts to get annoyed.
Oh, well, gotta feed the ego.
Is today Monday?
Monday for you, Tuesday for me. Hello from the future.
I live in a place without time.
It's 8:31 p.m. for me.
It's 4:32 a.m. for me.
It's 2:44 and 35 seconds. 36. Oh no, that's time we've been on.
What's happening?
Well, do I get to show now?
Yeah, of course you do.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. It's so nice to have been here tonight. I've got nothing. See you later.
Oh, okay. It was nice to talk to you.
Oh,
It was
likewise.
nice to talk to everybody.
I enjoyed this. I haven't had a chance to really spend a lot of bullshit time with you, but you're fun. You're fun.
Almost as much fun as me.
Yeah, I like you, Larry. I like you. I declare.
Thank you.
I declare the flag alike.
I like you too. You've all been very, very good to me.
Oh, that includes the food eating man, right?
Well, let me give you
Okay,
my
well,
take.
here, solidarity with me. Here. Now, B's not the only one eating food.
I've
I'm
been
saying right
eating
now that
pretzels this entire time.
anybody can eat. I don't give a shit. Everybody eats on these streams anyway.
I was eating paper sticks for my dum dum.
I
What
can
I will
taste the
say-
baking soda now. I'm so mad. I can taste the baking soda.
What I will say is the last time I was on this stream, I cooked a steak. And I cooked the rest of my dinner. And then I proceeded to eat a steak and the rest of my dinner on this stream.
I enjoyed
Did you
watching
cook,
that.
wait. Did you cook your steak on the sauna stones?
No, I did not. I cooked it on my induction hob.
Oh, okay. Well, ideas for next time.
I don't like
Smorgasbord.
mukbang, but I do like watching people cook. Yeah, I love watching people cook.
I'll do a cooking stream for if we have another 24-hour live stream. I'll just put my laptop in the kitchen and you guys can
Oh
watch me.
man, yeah. Like I would watch that. Like I'd be like, I'm gonna hang out in your kitchen. We're gonna watch
I know
you
how to
cook.
do two things. I know how to crochet and I know how to cook. And that's it. That's all I've got.
There we go. I tell you what, people like to hang out in the kitchen. Yes. You sound far away, but yes.
Okay. I don't know why. I need to bring my mic.
Don't hear a word.
Oh, you're out again.
Huh?
You're out again. It almost sounds like you have like a headset that's maybe Bluetooth that's picking up the sound, and it's like a mic across the
It's picking
room.
up the sound she's making over there. Okay, thanks, babe. Because I'm gonna say goodbye and they can't hear me.
Now we can hear you
It's okay.
perfect.
We can
You
hear you
didn't know.
now. You came
So,
back.
anyways, so everybody on the panel, thank you so much for coming tonight. I appreciate all you guys and love you to death and love the conversation. That I can walk away and not have to worry about it. And I know whatever you say while I'm gone is brilliant. Of course, I am listening, so that's why I know. But anyways, everybody in the chat, thanks for coming around, and I appreciate and love all you guys. Everybody, as usual, I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support and the great conversations we always have. So everybody, yeehaw noha, love and happiness and peace and all that shit to you. Take care of yourselves. Take care of one another, and have some peace.